Oh boy, Sliders is a show that I both loved and then hated. It started off so well with a great cast of characters and an absolutely amazing premise. Traveling from one world to another where there'd be some deviation in each alternate universe's history, which naturally led to a different present day on each different Earth that our main cast traveled to.
Sliders is the story about the most gifted and brilliant kid in the class.
Oh, right. No, sorry.
Okay.
That's right.
That's okay.
Develops a device for opening a portal into a parallel universe. Into it, he takes his girlfriend, his professor, and inadvertently scoops up a soul musician on his way to sing the national anthem at a ball game.
Yes.
Once in a parallel universe, we cannot, for various reasons, get back to our own. And therein, our adventures begin.
That was so nice.
That was really good.
It was unbelievable.
I've always loved alternate universe stories as I tend to be fascinated by things that are somewhat familiar but also slightly off. Probably explains why I also get into slight variations of things, but I probably don't need to psychoanalyze myself here. Tracy Torme was a writer who did a lot of sci-fi, like the movie Fire in the Sky, the Intruders miniseries, and of course on Star Trek The Next Generation. But he was also a writer for Saturday Night Live from 1982 to 83, which probably explains a bit the comedic tone Sliders would have from time to time. Torme came up with the idea for the Sliders series when he saw the pilot that never went to series for Disney's Fluffy Dogs, which was about a group of dimensional hopping dogs trying to find their home world again.
The door!
You think this is the door back home? Be ready to close it fast.
There's something y'all should know. I can't swim. I found another door. Quick, Stanley, the key.
Okay, that's not really how Torme came up with Sliders, but it's a bit strange that that show really happened. The real story was Torme was waiting around to have a meeting with Robert K. Weiss about a different project.
And there was actually a magazine with two Earths side by side on the cover of the magazine. And I had been reading a book about George Washington. There was a moment in the Revolutionary War when George Washington was about to be shot by a bunch of the British, and they all fired at him, and when the smoke cleared, he was still on his horse. And the whole point was that one of those bullets been well aimed. He's dead. There's no American Revolution. I walked into Bob's office and said, I've got this weird idea for a TV series.
So Robert Weiss helped develop the series with Torme. Weiss's background was in producing a lot of comedy, like the original Police Squad series and the Naked Gun films. And he also had some crossover on SNL, working on The Blues Brothers, Tommy Boy, and some other movies that weren't quite as good. But this probably also explains why Sliders like to have that balance of comedy and drama earlier on, which apparently was something they really had to fight the network on.
Basic kind of physical differences, but also the cultural differences. Use them both for drama and for humor.
Well, we really sold the show with the idea of doing a lot of it humorously, and I know that wasn't easily accepted by the network because they thought science fiction shows aren't really supposed to be funny.
Not thinking sci-fi was supposed to be comedic is especially asinine coming from Fox, who, was airing this little show called The X-Files at the time, which, as far as I recall, liked to do the comedy episodes once in a while. But hey, that's far from the last dumb thing Fox would say or do in relation to Sliders.
Unfortunately, the network is used to sort of doing things a certain way, and it was always a fight and always a struggle.
So yeah, this unfortunately was a show that got completely wrecked by the network interference from Fox, to the point that series creator and showrunner Tracy Torme threw up his arms and left, leading to it instead being led by David Peckinpah, who made some rather unfortunate choices that only hastened the downward trajectory the show was on. But before Torme left the series during season 3, he did try to get together with David Peckinpah to discuss the characters and stuff on Sliders, but kept getting blown off, which would seem to show that his priorities had been left on an alternate universe. In fact, Peckinpah told Torme that the network had stated that the show was too cerebral. So it was time to get rid of any of those nasty plots that made you think, and just have the characters fight with each other.
Go on! Can't you see he's trying to protect you?
If he's gone too, there's nothing left to protect. Oh, save the self-pity.
Being told the too cerebral thing by Peckinpah, though, was apparently the exact moment Torme decided to slide off his own series. And of course, none of this was helped by the show being moved over to the Sci-Fi Network for its last 2 seasons.
Sci-Fi Channel's original production of Sliders will break all the rules. Got wild stories, non-stop action, and amazing special effects.
Where a lot of the show's original alternate history premise was lost, as was the cast, as only one series regular was left by the time the show ended.
Now that we're finally home on the Sci-Fi Channel, Sliders is going to have the opportunity to make this series truly remarkable.
Wade?
Truly remarkable.
Every time an actor left the show too, it tended to be an unnecessarily mean and horrible exit for their character. These horrible character endings have largely been attributed to David Peckinpah, particularly with one that is the lowest moment the series ever had. At least though with one character exit, there's a bit of a loophole left open due to an unresolved plot thread, which we shall discuss more once we get there. The original core group consisted of Jerry O'Connell as Quinn Mallory, a college student genius who comes up with the technology which creates the dimensional vortex so that everyone can become Sliders. Sabrina Lloyd as Wade Wells, Quinn's friend who had stronger feelings for him, with her and Quinn kind of flirting around the idea of being together but never quite getting there. She kind of grows past that though, as sliding really allowed Wade more opportunity than she is getting living a regular life on Earth Prime. Well, originally anyway. Clavant Derricks as Rembrandt Brown, a singer who is past his prime but was potentially about to make a bit of a comeback when he accidentally gets brought along for the sliding ride. Remy tended to be the character who would bring the most comedic relief, but Clavant Derricks would absolutely bring it too when it came to the serious bits. And he ended up being the only anchor for the show. He said he mostly stayed on the series for the fans, and he was certainly giving his all, even though the show itself wasn't by the end. And then we've got John Rhys Davies as Professor Maximilian Arturo. He was Quinn's teacher, who was a little upset that Quinn was the one who ended up turning sliding from science fiction to science fact, but he also had a fatherly relationship with him. There'd be some quite humorous moments from Arturo's rather pompous moments, but he'd also show great passion for his fellow sliders, much like how John Rhys Davies would show great passion for the show itself.
A lot of times his mouth would get him in trouble.
When he had problems with the script, everybody knew about it. And I'll tell you, man, we were in read-throughs and John would bang his fist on the table and go, "This is absurd, this show could be so good, why don't we do this and do this and do this?"
While season 3 was rather messy from its beginning, the departure of John Rhys Davies really was a big turning point for the worse.
John himself was the foundation. And when we lost John, I think deep down in our hearts we knew that it was the beginning of the end.
And really, his replacement, Maggie Beckett, played by Kari Wuhrer, was a horrible substitution. Maggie was mostly an annoying character who just argued with everyone, but she did improve a little bit after Wade left the series, because after that, her character basically turned into Wade. John Rhys Davies was also the one who saw great potential in Sliders' concept, which is why he got very upset when the show went from exploring worlds which had alternate histories to what movie can we do a rip-off of? Apparently, the last straw for him was when he walked into the writer's room and saw them watching Species and wondering which bits they could nab from it.
We're delivering a show that will exceed their expectations.
John Rhys Davies was right, though. Sliders had an amazing premise and could have been a greater franchise had it not been constantly messed with. So just hang on a sec here. I'm gonna slide to the world where Sliders was allowed to finish its run properly and see how big it became.
Hey, Slide Hards. It's your boy Quinn Mallory.
We can probably have a big get-together with all the other Slide Hards at SliderCon in Las Vegas.
Where's Wade? Where's Rembrandt? Where's Professor Arturo and that other girl who unceremoniously replaced the professor? And some other characters that I'm not that familiar with.
And the rest.
I like to think of Sliders as sort of like Quantum Leap meets The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Sliders, at least how it began, really was kind of a spiritual successor to Quantum Leap. And it's kind of extra funny now that Jerry O'Connell describes Sliders as a mix between it and The Wizard of Oz, as Clavant Derricks went on to play the Wizard in the Broadway version of Wicked. Unfortunately, too, there was a bit of a misstep before the series really got that bad, too.
They wanted a bad guy in the show. We didn't have a bad guy.
The damn Cro-Mags.
Cro-Mags. Who the devil are the Cro-Mags?
I will say that the first time the Cro-Mags showed up, it wasn't completely horrible, and had they been a smaller arc that got wrapped up, it could have been fine. But really, these stupid things just outstayed their welcome, and they relied on them just way too much in the Sci-Fi Channel seasons.
It was cooler to deal with sort of the human element of going to different universes than just having like a set of bad guys in like freaky makeup.
I will see you on the other slide. And I'll see you idiots later.
A lot of the email and a lot of letters we got back from the audience was that, yes, thanks, but no thanks. Let's go back to where we were.
Another thing that worked so well with Sliders earlier on was that they would show you some of the alternate world versions of characters you'd seen before, which helped sell the whole premise of the show. Unfortunately, though, they moved production of the show from Vancouver to LA during season 3. So they didn't have a lot of the same actors around to play bit parts like that, and then most plans to have characters reoccurring in the later seasons kept falling through. Some characters even meant to show up again, like the female double of Quinn, never did because of Fox being a bag of dicks and saying they didn't think she was attractive enough. Oh. So, Fox was just absolutely toxic to the show by season 3, and then Sci-Fi Channel was, well, Sci-Fi Channel.
In the Sci-Fi Channel's new Slider series, our characters even get to explore their own inner dimensions.
Was Jerry O'Connell being held at gunpoint to say these things?
Started telling.
Once the actors have done their part, the show is far from complete. Weeks of post-production are still needed before you get to the fantastic finished show. The fantastic finished show.
Sci-Fi Sliders is so great. I love it more than anything. Mark Scott Zickery was brought on during the switch over to the Sci-Fi Channel as an executive producer and writer. He was excited to try and get the show back on track with the whole alternate histories thing, and off of the movie ripoff crap season 3 got stuck on. Zickery in fact wrote by far the best episode of Sliders in the Sci-Fi Network era, World Killer, which was really the closest the show ever felt to being in the season 1 and 2 era again. Unfortunately, Zickery ended up running into a wall named David Peckinpah, who would end up changing a lot of Zickery's plans for the series. For example, he wanted to have the stupid plotline where Quinn and his brother Colin were the last sons of Krypton be a fake out, and Colin to actually be a Cro-Mag spy. But this eventually got vetoed by Peckinpah. So Zickery left after season 4 because, as he said, he had had enough of working with David Peckinpah. It's really crazy that so many times during this series that the people who dared to care were driven off of it. But at least the man who apparently delighted in giving one of our main characters one of the most horrible exits in history stayed on the show and made sure it never got too cerebral. Now, I don't want to say that every bad thing that ever happened to Sliders was David Peckinpah's fault, because Fox and Sci-Fi did their fair share of fixing what wasn't broken. But you could really tell that the passion behind the series was gone.
Special effects are an essential part of what makes Sliders exciting.
I love how he cannot say any of these things during the Sci-Fi Channel making of Sliders special with any kind of conviction. And really, when I think of great special effects, I don't tend to put Sliders all that high on the list. I love Sci-Fi Channel Sliders so much that I'm leaving after one season of it. And that kind of shows where the priorities were being misplaced in this era. I mean, sure, the special effects aided Sliders, but it was a character-driven show at one point.
Character-driven shows, I think, are much stronger, much deeper. With television, I think that's the formula. I think if you have character-driven shows, the audiences tune in more.
If you're caring more about the special effects, which I mean on a Sci-Fi Channel show aren't going to be blowing anyone away, except maybe in an alternate universe where they gave more of a crap, then your cast, you're missing what is actually going to keep the audience invested in the show. A kind of important thing about having a really character-driven show, though, is having the characters on the show, which, of course, Sliders did not by the end of it. Save for poor Rembrandt, who is the only one worth caring about by that point.
And some other characters that I'm not that familiar with.
But hey, at least we got wonderful things in the last season, like a Quinn Mallory who's not really Quinn Mallory.
Who the hell are you?
I'm Quinn Mallory.
Okay, I've had enough of this.
But we'll get deeper into all that episode by episode, so join me next time as we look at the movie-length pilot for Sliders.
Folks so skittish about a little rain before.
Oh, it's acid rain world!
It was at that point you realized the Sliders were too stupid to live anymore. Sliders started off pretty strong, which is really good as sometimes it takes a show a season to really figure out what it is. And in the end, Sliders didn't end up having a lot of time before meddling tried to tell it that it was things that it shouldn't have been and derailed the whole series. I'm sure if Sliders had not had these issues, it would have been able to really improve past its early seasons, but of course the opposite ended up happening. The Sliders pilot is a TV movie and one of their best episodes. It really has a lot to do with giving us decent development of the four main characters, plus explaining and exploring the main premise of the series, sliding to alternate dimensions, which it all does very well. Instead of the typical show intro, the pilot has the title and credits appear during the opening scene. And the first voice we actually end up hearing in the series is Harry Shearer on the radio.
Good morning, Northern California, day tripper with you. What are you people doing still in bed?
So while the first two seasons of Sliders were primarily shot in Vancouver, there were a few bits actually filmed in San Francisco to try and help sell it all as taking place there. So you get a nice shot of Rembrandt getting into his car with that triangle building behind him that was seen far too often in the Charmed stock shots.
Linda Henning here used to be in Petticoat Junction.
Up all night, working. You're too much like your father. And look what happened to him.
Cat loves food. Yeah.
Mom, Dad was hit by a car.
But he was on his way to work.
I do love this interaction here, as it shows how Quinn and his mother often have humorous banter with each other, but also subtly sets up a major plot point for the end of the movie/episode.
And when are you gonna make up my room?
You just watch it, Buster. 2 more semesters and I'm turning this place into a bed and breakfast.
I get the feeling this was meant as a hint for a parallel world that never ended up happening. Imagine Quinn's horror as he goes home to find stinky Cro-Mags renting rooms at his mom's pad. So Quinn might be a genius, but his short-term memory apparently isn't the greatest, as he seemingly sits up with surprise at his own home movies of opening the gate with his proto-timer. Did I get wasted and open up a bunch of portals again? Glad Quinn wasn't stuck with that timer. That one wouldn't have conveniently fit in his pocket like the remote control style one.
You know, Michael, I worry about that kid sometimes. He's too smart for his own good.
Well, he's not that smart. I mean, he didn't even finish his equation, and interdimensional portals are quite a ways off from the anti-gravity device that Quinn was actually attempting to create.
I worry about that kid sometimes.
What's that, Mom? Dad's still dead? Hope that never changes. We then see Quinn dash from Golden Gate Park over to UC Berkeley's campus, which is not all that close to the park. So maybe Quinn also invented a lazy day short-range teleporter that he also forgot about creating.
Communism will sweep the world!
Well, not this world, but maybe another one.
Now, this classroom's kind of empty because it's an advanced class, not because we were too cheap to fill it with extras.
Well, it's also because we were cheap.
Well, it is a rationalization, but nonetheless.
Quinn's class is another prime location to set up a few characters we'll see alternates of on other worlds, though the main one we'll see is Conrad Benish Jr. here. But unfortunately only in Season 1. Well, maybe one spot in Season 2, but it's undetermined if that was supposed to be Benish or if it was his actor just playing a rando. The only other classmate we'd see again is Mr. Wing, but again, unfortunately, only one other time. I know this got completely screwed up by Season 3 moving the production to LA, but they could have popped up a bit more before that point.
Mr. Mallory, you might at least do me the courtesy to pretend that you're listening to me.
You disappoint me. Not very wise.
You ask me, Professor Arturo is not nearly as smart as he thinks he is.
Yeah, I suppose if Arturo was smart, he'd skip out on the torture that this series is going to turn into for every character. We get our introduction to Wade at the Doppler Computer Superstore, where she and Quinn both work. But only in the pilot. However, I suppose it would be rather hard to hold down a job when sliding from dimension to dimension. Again though, I think their workplace could have been utilized again down the line. Especially where the Slider group constantly needs money. Maybe Quinn or Wade should see if they're still employed there in some worlds and see if they're owed a paycheck.
Watch it, Mr. Computer Boy's on the warpath.
Now here's an ugly little side note. This character of Hurley is actually named after someone I worked with at Star Trek.
Wacky doodle, wacky doodle, wacky doodle.
Who was a very unpopular person, and so I named him after him.
Boy, oh boy, that Maurice Hurley sure was popular with everyone, wasn't he?
I don't really care what people think.
Maury and I had a very bad relationship from that point on.
Wacky doodle.
I love that he inspires people to name putzes after him.
If it weren't for my mistakes, you'd be out of a job.
Wacky doodle.
That guy Hurley's a putz on every world I've been to.
Not so wacky doodle after all.
Hurley here is played by someone you might have seen in another Portal-based sci-fi show, as Gary Jones was also Sergeant Walter Harriman on Stargate SG-1. Around this point, I guess there was a cut scene where Quinn ran into his neighbor who he had a crush on, who was also going to be someone you'd see in some of the other worlds, and he was even going to be married to her on one world. I think they should have tried to keep as many bits like this as possible to really help establish the alternate worlds, especially where you mainly just have this pilot to set up what the characters are like on Earth Prime, as they would call it. This is something they do establish here, though, the creaking gate.
This gate has been squeaking since I was 12.
This is something Quinn would use once in a while to try and see if he was possibly home, which ended up being to his detriment. Quinn's lab is also something that could have been seen a little more often after the pilot, especially when we see that Quinn is one of those Spencer Gifts plasma balls. If TV has taught me anything, anyone who does real science has one of those plasma balls.
You'd think after 3 months I'd be able to crack it.
We see that Quinn has already created the timer Mark II and how it was originally supposed to work. After the time was up, the object sent through the gateway would automatically be returned to its home dimension. We'll see it work this way with Quinn once in the pilot and then never again because they messed the timer up.
I've been thinking about sending Schrodinger through.
Get it? Schrodinger's cat? Get it? Who would ever believe a cat Slider, though? Now get me some fluffy dogs and I'm totally on board with the concept.
But if anything were to happen, I knew I couldn't live with that.
At least Quinn is a responsible pet owner, though he should probably pop by to feed some of the other Schrodingers on worlds where Quinn is also taken off.
Cat loves food, yeah.
Tomorrow morning, I myself will step through the gate.
Wait, what? When did I decide that?
Mom, in the event something goes wrong and I don't return, this is a message for you. Wherever I am, I'm probably having a blast.
I'm Quinn Mallory.
Okay, I've had enough of this.
Who knows? I might make it back one day.
You know, as long as this series gets concluded properly.
See you soon, Schrodinger. Oh no.
I'm Quinn Mallory.
I don't believe this.
Who the hell are these people?
And some other characters that I'm not that familiar with. I'm right back where I started.
I also happen to land in one of the few worlds where it's not immediately obvious that it's not Earth Prime.
This scientific theory, so-called, about global cooling, but I don't know, maybe it's true.
It truly is a different world. You didn't immediately deny global cooling.
What are you, blind? It's a green light for crying out loud!
I like these more subtle alternate world things done like this, and of course it's being done here to ease into the world of sliding, but it was also nice that there be things that are just slightly off from the norm of our world. So Quinn quickly finds out that red means go and green means stop.
Red is go, green is stop. Red is go, green is stop.
Last CD rolls off the assembly line. The vinyl LP won the battle, and vinyl, ladies and gentlemen, is here to stay.
Oh, well, maybe this is actually our world.
Jack Kennedy does not want to run for another term. If you start the day in bed with Marilyn, that's where you want to spend the day.
Where am I?
Apparently, you're on the world where nobody ever died. Also, apparently in this world, you don't need a registration sticker on your license plate. Though, we'll see that Rembrandt doesn't believe in those either, until his car finds the stickers on its own after sliding. Oh no, non-squeak gate, which leads to Quinn's mom in a wig and she's having a baby with their gardener? Well, time to get the hell out of here. Guess it's a good thing that Quinn was taking his timer to school with him, otherwise he'd have lost it. After the excitement of being back home, Quinn starts to realize that things are off again as he's apparently been getting into fights with Arturo and Hurley.
Wacky doodle.
Not so wacky doodle after all.
Wacky doodle.
Who, Hurley?
The man just fired you.
If you will not leave, I will.
Now, I think Arturo is a pompous windbag too, but I'd never have the guts to say it to his face. I swear to God, that was not me.
It's kind of funny that it never crosses Quinn's mind that he might not have actually returned to his proper home world, but I guess they didn't want to plant that seed yet, as he is meant to be back on Earth Prime at this point. And it just so happens that Quinn from Smug World has been visiting and just assuming that Prime Quinn would love him messing around with his life.
And I suppose now you're gonna tell me that that kiss meant nothing.
Who did this? I did. Or should I say, you did.
I'd go over there and smack you, but we're pushing our slightly janky 1995 screening as it is.
Because I'm a slider. And this happens to be my 8th slide.
I have 8 Quinns who want to kick my ass.
When you step inside, you slide through to another universe.
Well, I'm glad Smug Universe Quinn is also at least plot exposition Quinn.
Can you choose your destination? Afraid not. Or at least not yet.
I kinda wonder though, since Prime Quinn didn't finish the equation on his own, what if stupid Smug Quinn screwed up again? And had Prime Quinn actually done it, he might have actually cracked being able to slide with more purpose. Or maybe not, because Prime Quinn can be a genius dumbass sometimes too.
Oh, I gotta go. Wife's waiting. Been married now 2 years.
To Wade? Is that why he kissed her? Trying to move that along for Prime Quinn? Or maybe Smug Quinn's just a cheaty jerk-ass?
I'll see you idiots later. I once stepped onto an Earth just this side of paradise, where there's no pollution, no crime or hate.
And Sliders had a proper run. It wasn't wrecked by Fox, Sci-Fi, Cro-Mags, or Peckinpahs.
Think about that. I gotta warn you, this is important.
That's why I waited for the last second to not be able to tell you properly. Do we know each other yet, Miss Wails? This is awkward.
My son thinks the world of you, Professor.
He does?
Oh.
Somebody hand me a handkerchief! Please!
Don't need to be hearing any of that old stuff the night of my big comeback.
So the crying man, Rembrandt Brown, initially doesn't have any connection to Quinn and friends. He's gonna get sucked into their plot, literally. Remy is trying to make a comeback with his singing career and is on the way to sing the national anthem at a San Francisco Giants baseball game.
90s, baby. Crying man is back.
Who cares about Big Smith, the anthem, man? People want to know who's singing the anthem.
Wow, the Batcave.
Guess Quinn and Wade aren't that great of friends if he's never even invited her over once before.
The holy grail of theoretical physics.
This elegance is found here in the basement of this unknown, unkempt, unpublished, unfortunately brilliant brat. To imagine that we have the technology to build a portal into an alternative universe.
Is that possible? An alternative universe? Really?
I'll see you idiots later.
We can just slide through this and boom, we're on another planet?
Same planet, different dimension.
That is so cool!
He slimed me.
That's great!
I do love Wade's super enthusiasm about sliding immediately, though she might not be quite as up for it if she knew how things were going to turn out. Arturo is all, we have to study this before doing something rash, until Quinn's like, yeah, I'm going now anyway. So he decides, the hell with it, let's see what happens.
Do you think we'll all fit?
Maybe I should increase the power.
Quinn fiddling with the power, I guess, is the excuse for the portal popping out of the house and then sneaking around the corner to grab Rembrandt, which is behavior we'll never see again. The group ends up on World 6 from Mario 3 this time, which would have been a little more immediately obvious to Quinn than Elvis World had this been his first slide.
I think I've just seen God, and I could have sworn he was driving a Cadillac.
It was better than sex.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
This world's pretty much a big dud and really kind of blows for being everyone's intro into sliding except for Quinn's. Hey, imagine a world where it's all iced and everyone is gone. Amazing! But despite it being so cold around here, we don't see anyone's breath. Weird. However, we will see their breath on the next supposedly not as cold world. Now, despite there not being a lot going on in this world, they do sneak in some interesting differences about Quinn's family through a photo. He sees a dog that in his world they only had for a short time because he ran away as a puppy, and an apparent sister.
The sister I never had.
This really should have been another hint about a future world they would visit where Quinn would actually get to meet this sister. If only Sliders had ended up with more good episodes than it did. Now, if only Quinn had continued to never have a brother. The rest of the gang run into Rembrandt rather easily since, he's kind of the only other living person around here. And he kind of looks a bit more realistic than some of the other rather janky frozen San Francisco compositing. This was rather lucky for Rembrandt too, considering had this been a more normal world, he might have just continued on his way to the game and been stuck wherever that was. But then again, maybe that would have worked out better for him. They catch Remy up on the whole sliding business they've wrapped him up into, which goes over well naturally.
You want to roll that by me again, man, in English this time?
An ice tornado makes its way over to see if it can get in on the sliding, but the group is less than keen on bringing it along.
Anywhere is better than here! Let's go!
So Quinn forces a slide before the preset time was up, which is what last minute Smug Boy was trying to warn him not to do. Cause if you don't let the timer do its little auto return portal, it just completely loses where you were and you're on random select after that. Quinn then naturally shoots the portal up into the air, cause that's the hardest way to possibly get into the vortex, so everyone ends up needing a boost. Except for Quinn, he just makes it somehow. Maybe the tornado started lifting him and he made a little Mario jump into the portal after that?
Well, what if he didn't make it?
What's with the tears? You hit your head or something?
Yeah.
I do not understand your human emotions.
Oh!
So everyone just assumes that this must be home because it doesn't have an immediate tell in the empty park. But don't worry, the team will get a bit smarter about judging these things in the future, and then a lot dumber about it in the even later future.
My beautiful red sled is on another planet where it's stuck in a freaking iceberg. They're never gonna buy that when I put in my claim.
Has that always been here? Who, Abe? No, Lenin. Nikolai Ilyich Ulyanov Lenin.
Whoops, she must have made a wrong turn at Soviet Albuquerque. So yeah, the rest of the pilot primarily focuses on the Soviet America world, where the Cold War ended up going poorly and now America is under Russian rule.
And the network executive said, no one's interested in communism.
Thing of the distant past.
Yeah, like that was 2 seasons ago.
Exactly.
What if you could travel to parallel worlds? A world where the Russians rule America, or where the Russians rule America, or where the Russians rule America. Now the problem is the Russians rule America.
PT&T, we want you back.
The "We Want You Back" slogan was a reference to AT&T's commercials from the time.
They've come back to AT&T. We want you back.
It's funny how the phone company commercials were just as annoying back in 1995 as they are today. Now it's that horrible Carrot Top stuff, which I guess is even worse.
Thanks to our Comrades Call Comrades program, we can save you up to 6 rubles a year on long distance to the motherland.
PT&T? What is this?
This is operator 934. You will state your telephone permit number now.
Wade quickly learns that the world of the People's Telephone and Telegraph is a bit dystopian, as without a telephone permit, they really want you back and will send people after you. But hey, at least the bum from their world is now a senator.
Hey, pay bill.
So, hoping to still make it to the game, Remy catches a cab, which will naturally also land him in a heap of trouble.
Could you turn on the Giants game? You know, baseball-ski. Baseball, Reds, Reds game? Yeah.
The joke, of course, being Rembrandt thinks he's referring to the Cincinnati Reds, but in this reality it'd be a team named after the communist red flag.
Anthem. Wait a minute, that don't sound right. Must be playing a Canadian team.
I like the joke that Rembrandt has no idea what "O Canada" sounds like, but I guess he's really messed up if he thinks Cincinnati's in Canada. When Rembrandt gives the cabbie some money for a toll is where everything falls apart, since the cash from Earth Prime doesn't quite align with Soviet America's currency. Now that we have our guns on them, what do? We wait for commercials, stupid! Rembrandt ends up getting interrogated by someone who is one of those lawyers that had a commercial play every break on Fox in the Prime world. The one of these I always remembered seeing was on the Fox Rochester affiliate for Jim the Hammer Shapiro.
I'm Jim the Hammer Shapiro.
And this was based on my hatred of all those stupid lawyer commercials.
I'm Ross J. Kelly, and I won't take no for an answer. I'll fight for you.
If you cooperate, I'll fight for you.
Ross J. Kelly? The shyster lawyer from TV?
He knows you, your name, your civilian profession. How?
I don't know.
I hand over jurisdiction of your situation
To the People's Court.
So, for a comedy bit and of course a play on peoples, Rembrandt ends up on the show The People's Court. Seeing some people gunned down in the street makes the professor very hungry. No joke. Kinda strange.
Anyone fancy a kibasa?
You think maybe he's got something planned here, but no. They just luck into the fact that the vendor is a member of the resistance movement and brings them in after being handed some non-Soviet currency.
This is actually a series of tunnels that really are in Vancouver that run from the ocean to the middle of town. They were built during the Second World War.
It turns out Wade's double is a leader of the resistance movement in this world, so she initially gets mistaken for her.
Welcome to the revolution.
Though the welcome for everyone sans Wade isn't really the nicest.
Get any rest, gentlemen?
Oh, yes. I always sleep well with my arms tied above my head, you blithering idiot.
It's not every day someone comes to us claiming to be from a parallel Earth.
Mr. Wilkins here is another character who unfortunately we never see a double of on another world. Considering his importance in the pilot and relationship with Wade, I feel like something interesting could have been done with another version of him. It turns out though that the actual resistance leader Wade was captured and is being held in a prison being run by Arturo's double. Pretty big coincidence that two of their doubles are really important in this world, huh?
Wild, huh?
This eventually leads to them making the plan of Arturo cosplaying as his double on this world to rescue Resistance Wade and Rembrandt.
It began in the 50s when we lost the Korean War. We were economically isolated from the rest of the world.
Well, hopefully no one would ever try to do something like that to the US and our world.
At ease. Private.
That guy Hurley's a putz on every world I've been to.
Guess Smug Quinn never made it to this world, as Hurley doesn't really do anything that objectionable besides watch communist rap music videos.
Comrade, get on down. Serve your state to feed your people.
This is a joke, right?
No, this is prime time.
It's Pledge Week, comrades, on PBS.
Looks like PBS is run by Atari in this world.
Pledge your support for public television, or else.
What possible defense do you have to this?
This earth is not my earth, you dig?
We did actually shoot Clevant singing the national anthem at a Giants game, too, and that's another thing that was never used.
I find it very interesting that they filmed any of Rembrandt performing the anthem, because I don't know what that would have been for. Unless there is some kind of alternate closed ending version shot where the Sliders did make it back home.
Now this guy Cue Ball.
Cue Ball, I sentence you to 15 years in the Alaskan Gulag.
I am never watching this show again.
We're going to have to move quickly. If we fail tonight, the entire West Coast uprising will be extinguished.
Then we won't fail.
Oh, good plan! I thought maybe we would try failing until you said not to! Arturo puts on a rather shaky performance as his warden double, which is good enough at least to get them through the gate.
Left hand, sir.
Left hand.
Tell me your name, I'll see your come in.
But you know my name, sir. Lieutenant Karpov.
Since you're pretending not to know me, I'm pretending not to know you.
Karpov here ends up calling Warden Arturo's house and finds out that he's still in bed, which seems slightly odd when he just drove into the prison.
What the hell is this, dog food?
They save Rembrandt just in time before he had to eat dog food.
I never thought I'd be happy to see you guys.
And I never realized how much I would miss you guys once I get stuck with the other dummies.
Down and blockade!
Quinn loses track of Wade, but after finding her, she ends up getting wounded during the escape. So, yeah, of course, it's just the resistance leader Wade they've lost, not the important one.
I'm gonna get you home.
It would have been nice to at least get a little bit of Wade's double on this world doing something before getting taken out like this.
This raid has given us a tremendous shot in the arm.
Thanks to what you've told us of your world, we know they can be defeated. You've given us hope back.
Of course, I've lost my girlfriend and leader, but we need to spin this into a positive, I guess.
You're in violation of curfew. Show me your papers.
I don't have time for this.
My droid!
Huh, you know, I don't know what we thought we were gonna do after the whole portal thing had opened.
Thank God!
Hey, have this Soviet America currency. I'm sure that'll work in this world.
Don't you know me?
I do know you.
Yeah, I'm getting out.
You is crying, man, no?
Well, that settles it. We home.
But first, the ultimate world test. The stupid gate creaking. Considering that this test immediately fails them, it'd be pretty stupid if they relied on it in the future.
Where have you been?
It's a long story.
TV movie length even. So yay! Everyone celebrate! We are 100% home!
I'd like to propose a toast to wherever you live.
Hey.
Hello, Dad.
What's the matter, son? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Close enough.
I could never stay in a world where my dad's alive. Yikes, do I really suck that much, son? Yeah. The Sliders pilot really did a good job showing off the whole alternate history premise the show was initially built upon, and gave us 4 enjoyable characters to explore these worlds with. It also did a good job of taking its story seriously while also balancing it with some comedic bits so the tone wasn't overly dire. Something the show would not do as well with come its later seasons. The biggest slide hole of the episode is gonna go to Professor Arturo for his rather poorly timed thinking with his stomach. He didn't know that would lead them to the resistance, he just wanted food. Next time on Sliders, it's the Summer of Love with Hippie World.
I'm Ross Jake.
The Hammer.
Kelly, and I won't take no for an answer. I'll fight for you.
Time for the second episode of Sliders, Summer of Love. But wait a second, you might say. Summer of Love wasn't the second episode of Sliders aired. The episode Fever was, and Summer of Love is the 6th episode. Well, you gotta give credit to Fox on this one. They were messing things up for this series from the get-go. Summer of Love is very much intended story-wise to be the episode that follows the pilot, but Fox saw fit to completely screw the episode order up for, well, every single season of Sliders they aired. And it becomes very clear that things are wrong when you watch the original airing order, as some episodes kind of have events that flow into the next. However, Fox decided, story be damned, they'll air the episodes in the wrong order. Because that just makes sense to executives at networks sometimes. Don't even try to get on their level, man. They're just on a dumber plane of thinking. So, yeah, we'll be covering the show in the order it should be in. There was also a major problem introduced by Fox with the messed up episode order. In this episode, the timer ends up damaged from forcing slides early again, and after this point, they have to wait for a particular window to be able to slide again, which is what the timer counts down to after this point, and if they miss this window, they'll be stuck on a world for 29 years. Or, more precisely, 29.7 years. There was an explanation of this in this episode, but it's gone now. Due to Fox's juggling of the episode order, the scene with the explanation got removed because they decided it didn't make sense now for this explanation to be in what was now the 6th episode. In fact, the 29 years bit if they missed a slide wouldn't actually get said now until season 3.
We'll slide out of here before the timer runs out. We're stuck here for 29 years.
So now, in the Fox order, the sliders just suddenly start to talk about how long they are stuck on a world, but then you have this as episode 6 where they can just suddenly force a slide early again. And either way you watch it, it's not explained properly. Great job, Fox. No thanks.
Conrad Benish Jr., FBI.
Oh, hey, if it's about that bong I just bought, I thought it was a plant holder.
This episode opens rather uniquely, too, back on Earth Prime, with the FBI looking into the disappearance of the sliders.
Rembrandt Brown, also known as the Cooking Man.
Crying man.
Whatever.
They bring Conrad Benish down to Quinn's lab to see if he knows anything about the tech down here. And to see if he knows what might have happened, as some people actually noticed a car getting sucked into the gateway.
A huge blue whirlpool that emanated from this house.
Conrad Benish and I were discussing the Einstein-Rosen-Podolsky Bridge, and now I've crossed it.
Is that possible?
This investigation is another, unfortunately, unresolved plot thread. Apparently, the original idea is that some agents were possibly going to end up sliding as well and end up lost like our main characters. There was some potential in this idea, especially if they had made Benish more of a regular thing, which, as one of the only other characters established in the pilot who could possibly know anything about sliding, I wish they had. Benish ending up sliding, I think, could have really opened up some interesting possibilities, as he could have been someone that the team ran into from time to time, and you could have moments too where they weren't even sure if this was the Benish from Earth Prime or not. It's a much better running plot thread than Cro-Mags. Someone getting left behind on a world and ending up having to slide with Benish, I think, would have been a pretty interesting story as well. In fact, there was a slider left on a world who really could have used a lift from Benish, wasn't there? And you could also have before Benish getting his own timer working as well, occasionally cutting back to him on Earth Prime, which would have been a good excuse to see the Prime version of some characters before being shown what they're like on the world the sliders are on. In fact, that's exactly what this episode did with these FBI agents, as you see their counterparts on Hippie World, where who's in command and who is the subordinate has been flipped. Now, while I say I like the idea of cutting back to Earth Prime sometimes like this episode did, I wouldn't want it to be overdone. It's kind of like Quantum Leap, where in the original show, I always wished to see a bit more of the project and the characters there, but then the reboot just showed way too much of the project and I wanted to know way less about the characters there. So after sliding out of the horrible alive father world, Quinn smashes the timer hard on the pavement, and considering the importance of that device, he's really not that bothered about it.
Hey, this could be home, right?
Sweet home, boarded up business's home, I guess. Come on, Remy.
Mr. Mallory, what seems to be the problem?
Oh, the timer needs a rest.
Gee, I wonder why. I think I'd be a bit worried that it was completely wrecked after that light smashing. Guess all it was the battery cover popping off. I don't know. It's just weird that that happens and it doesn't really matter. They end up breaking the timer a different way.
There are now 10 minutes to 0. The swarm is approaching from the south.
The team quickly finds out why the streets are empty on this world, because of some super genetically engineered spider wasp, which was a huge mistake. It was created for some pest control, except the pest it started taking out were humans.
Are we the baddies?
And naturally, a swarm of them are just about to make its way into San Francisco.
The timer may be messed up, Quinn, but we've got to go.
I know it was just sparking like it might blow up, but we have to go! Tell the technology we don't have time for it to not be working. I think I'd want to make sure that the interdimensional portal was gonna be stable before jumping through the damn thing. The spider wasp situation is pretty dire, but it might be worth trying to hide out somewhere for a bit just to be sure you're not gonna turn yourself inside out in the portal. And of course, this marks the end for the team ever being able to do this normally, so it's funny that this event never really gets brought up again. But I suppose, thanks to Fox, the team doesn't even remember when this happened exactly anymore. Wade and Rembrandt almost get lost entirely too due to this screwy slide as the portal closes prematurely, so Quinn has to reopen it before he and the professor can actually get out of there. It's of course an interesting dilemma having the team split up like this, and the possibility they aren't even on the same world, which is not immediately clear either.
They never made it through. We're here for keeps.
It seems pretty damn lucky, though, that both teams did somehow end up on Hippie World.
All our problems are over.
Oh, isn't that just the way? Go get high in the woods until portal people pop out to solve all your problems. Arturo and Quinn also ended up bringing some spider wasps along with them, so overall this is one of their most successful slides ever.
Get it off, please.
Quinn's first idea is apparently to just try and smack the giant mutant deadly insect with his hand. That's some real genius dumbassery. At least he does rethink this after coming up with a more scientific plan.
Hold perfectly still.
Nailed it!
Now, you would think that the fact that Arturo and Quinn accidentally brought some of these spider wasps with them would come back into play in some way, but nope, they're never mentioned again, so I figure something must have gotten cut again.
Can you guys tell us where we are?
You're at our commune, man.
Who's the president?
Oliver North, man.
They kind of spoil the did they slide into different worlds tension a bit quickly as we see a bunch of hippie protesters in the next Quinn and Arturo scene. You know, maybe they could have just held on to that tension a little longer.
I hated the 60s when it was the 60s. Go away!
So, Rembrandt is at first hoping that the hippies are fawning over him because his music career is going well in this world.
Cry like a man. I wasn't sure the crime man had made a mark in this world.
Your kind travel from world to world. We'll always do whatever you say.
I wish all my fans had that attitude.
Seeker's father owns half of India.
I'll be damned, you guys are rich.
Luckily for Remy, these are rich hippies, so they lend him a car to go looking for what they assume to be the other prophets. Rembrandt then immediately blows right past Quinn and Arturo and drives to his childhood home. Cause, you know, that's obviously the first place the team would head to.
Think they mind if I took a peek inside?
Uh-huh. Neighborhood's as friendly as ever. That's why I moved out.
Rembrandt randomly driving to this house sort of pays off, I guess, when he stumbles upon his own funeral. And hey, I don't know where else you're more entitled to snacks than your own funeral. The praise for his dear departed self starts to sour, though, when his brother starts speaking.
Could I help it that the Lord blessed me with more musical talent?
Musical talent?
Of course, that's just going too far, so Remy crashes his own funeral and everyone celebrates that the rumors of his death were premature until they try to take him out. His double's widow was a woman that Rembrandt had had a crush on in high school, so he briefly considers just taking over his double's life. After all, it does seem like he and Wade might be stuck here anyway.
This is paradise, man.
Professor, it's Benish.
I do really like that Prime Benish would have been someone who would have fit right in with the hippies on this world, being someone who's not into hippie culture on the hippie world.
I'm Conrad Benish Jr., president of the Young Republicans for the war. Remember, gentlemen, conformity and patriotism are not dirty words.
I saw what looks like an old hippie in here, and I thought he would love my stupidity.
Rembrandt said that he'd be back soon, and it's been a day now.
Goodbye forever, Wade.
He's a Gemini, so you never know. What is that? No astrology on this world?
Oh, come on, Wade. They've got enough problems on this world. You don't need to give them the pseudoscience of astrology.
You're a Libra, aren't you, darling?
No.
Yep.
No, I'm not.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. I love you.
Timer is useless in its present condition.
Arturo and Quinn decide they need to find an apartment to try and work out a way to get the timer working again and to try and slide with more purpose. Of course, they don't figure out the latter, but that is probably a thing he and Arturo should have worked on more often.
How do you feel about the war?
We have no opinion.
I won't allow any sympathizing with the outback Kong under my roof. If South Australia falls, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to our shores.
The crazy old landlord woman does rent them a room, but reports them to the government immediately. And we find out that she's the crazy old gun woman from the Ninja Turtles pilot.
One twitch in your history, scum! Now back off!
Over with Rembrandt, he's beginning to realize that sliding into his double's life isn't as nice as he first thought, as it turns out his son and wife don't really respect old Rembrandt Dying Man Brown.
You better clean up the house and fix her coffee before she wakes up. She'll kick your tail for good if you don't get to it.
Don't think 'cause you home mean you got time to be lazy.
Paradise.
What happens when you die?
Well, I can't say I've never died.
She's immortal.
But boy, oh boy, she'll soon wish she wasn't. I gotta stop bringing up that crap in the earlier, better stuff. So while Wade is having the slide of her life, having the hippies hang on to every single word she says, turns out for Rembrandt that all bad things must come to an end as his double's family gets word that their Remy is actually still alive.
Now that she knows you're an imposter, she's gonna teach you a lesson as soon as she finds some shells for a shotgun.
I love that Rembrandt was just so done. His first instinct is to choke the shit out of his non-son.
Oh, don't even try to run!
I got a shotgun.
Who was that exact double of my husband? Oh well.
Seems the U.S. lost the Battle of the Coral Sea during World War II, and the Japanese invaded Australia. When the Nazis surrendered, the Russians entered the Pacific War and helped liberate North Australia, but they never gave it back.
Is this some kind of joke, Mr. Mallory?
Yes. There is a window of opportunity. A precise moment when we can access the gate.
And that's the most we get in the episode now. It's just a quarter of a thought, really. Suddenly the feds bust in because Quinn used Bug World currency for his ultra-generic chocolate vanilla cream cookies.
If you move a muscle, I'll have to blow your head off.
Seems reasonable.
Could be some kind of elaborate pipe bomb.
You blistering idiot! A pipe bomb's child's play compared to that!
I do love when the professor's pride overrules his sense. Quinn sees Rembrandt drive by and immediately starts calling out to him despite his current situation and the fact that this could easily not be his Rembrandt. In fact, given what happened to the team, it should be more likely that this is not his Rembrandt. Luckily, the hippie fetties are easily taken out so that Quinn can flag down Rembrandt.
Urging you to follow your conscience.
Follow your heart. Follow your heart. How about that, fellas? Leave the girl alone for a day or two and she becomes a full-fledged guru.
Quinn!
Guess your prophets aren't all they're cracked up to be, you bozos.
Oh, we better go.
I'll see you idiots later.
If we can bring some of the things that we've learned on our world to parallel cultures, then I say go for it.
Yeah, maybe if it's actually gonna help, however, astrology isn't gonna do anyone any favors.
Yep. No. Yep.
We can't just slide from place to place aimlessly. We have to get involved.
But the prime directive, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Anyway, it's time to get out of this slip and slidey world, which conveniently lines up with the feds showing up.
And remember, all you need is love.
And an escape plan.
48 minutes till the next window, unless this is home.
Well, guess we'd better hope that this isn't home. The biggest slide hole of the episode is gonna go to Rembrandt for just completely abandoning Wade with the hippies and only leaving his double's life after he was found out. Though, I suppose in his defense, he barely knows Wade at this point, and also she gets special mention here for a little Miss Cleo teachings. Next time on Sliders, we get a bit of deja vu with parts of the pilot in the British States of America.
You little...
Prince of Wails is quite blatantly supposed to be the episode that follows Summer of Love as it continues with our team now stuck on top of the Transamerica Pyramid in their hippie clothes, following that giant tidal wave they saw coming towards them at the end of Summer of Love. Fox originally aired this episode 4th, following the episode Last Days, then Summer of Love came after it. So it's rather jarring to have this be the intro of an episode, then see the clear lead up to this situation in the following episode. Thanks again, Fox! Now, it's a funny visual with the sliders stuck on top of the Transamerica Pyramid, but I really wonder how they managed to get up here. Cause, you know, when the tidal wave was about to hit, they were still on ground level.
Why couldn't you put that thing up? Taking your mama with you instead of me.
Can you imagine them having to slide with Quinn's mom tagging along? That'd be silly. Now, his long-lost Amish Pepsi-loving brother, that's the family member we actually need.
Now you dropped us in a world where the polar ice caps must have melted.
Did Rembrandt manage to find documentation of that in the few seconds they had before the tidal wave, or is that just his hypothesis?
Quit your crying, you know I didn't do it on purpose.
But he's the crying man. You can't tell him to stop crying. The pyramid starts tilting, and if you pay attention to the bottom, we can actually see the end of the prop top they built. Of course, this would have been cut off by the garbage area on TVs back when.
Provided we do actually get to an alternate Earth, I suggest that we take a vow that we will stay still and relax.
Absolutely no involvement with the locals.
Do you think that maybe we could start that policy here?
There are no locals here.
Then what do you call him?
Well, I wouldn't call it much, but we know what Quinn would call it.
Amazing special effects.
Luckily, the team doesn't have to look at the jank shark much longer. Imagine if they're stuck on Waterworld for like a month or so. Though, they'd probably all succumb to boredom before drowning, especially when Costner showed up and told them to enjoy a tall glass of iced pea. The main world this episode is about is British World, where the Revolutionary War went the other way, so now the states are an English colony dubbed the British States of America.
It is the American way. It is the British way.
This episode was written by Lee Goldberg and William Rabkin, the showrunners for She-Wolf of London. I guess Sliders figured they're the experts of Americans writing for British people, which, I mean, given this world, I suppose really works for it. As a joke played by The Gate, I guess, it dumps the team in a fountain after escaping Waterworld. But they sure are lucky that at least put them back down on ground level. Had they ended up around where they slid from, this show would have gotten rid of the original cast a lot sooner. The first hint the team gets of the history change of this world is when Quinn spots the Benedict Arnold Savings and Loan. Can you imagine having a building named after a treacherous douchebag? Wade finds a BSA Today newspaper left in the middle of the street to lure people over so they can easily be run over, but Quinn foils that dastardly plot. Boy, she sure got into that paper, I guess.
Are you blind, you stupid little strumpet? You're very lucky I don't. It was my fault. Entirely my fault.
The team gets taken to the royal suite as Arturo's double in this world is the slightly villainous sheriff of San Francisco. Seems to be a bit of a theme when it comes to Arturo doubles.
I have no problem with the Brits. We made top of the pops over there.
The sheriff of San Francisco has been named acting regent of the Western Americas.
Can't believe people in the 20th century would actually allow themselves to be governed by a monarchy.
The 20th century? No. Now the 21st?
There's no reason why we shouldn't spend our time here in blissful anonymity.
It's part of my contract with America. I have enacted a middle-class tax cut. A generous 2%.
So much for blissful anonymity.
Yeah, so much for the British just grabbing any randos off the street and throwing them into a suite for no reason.
But for the moment, you are still the sheriff. There's no sense leaving empty-handed.
Sometimes, Miss Wails, you frighten me.
Hey, you were the one that said the team should relax in this next world. So they all quickly get on Wade's level, man, which luckily isn't astrology this time, and start getting all they can.
I want a car sent round immediately. I want you to fill the trunk with the finest cheeses and fresh fruit that you have.
Oh, come on, Arturo. We all know what you really want.
Frozen squishy, divine concoction. And I want all the cash from your register.
This again is some cash I'm sure would only be good on a few worlds, so they better spend it up while they're here. It's a nice touch with the vehicles being right-hand drive, which breaks down, and good ol' Arturo doesn't help push.
This is a restricted area. Stay exactly where you are.
Now this is like downtown Oakland.
Was there no signage to that effect, or is our team being some real wonder dummies again?
That guy Hurley's a putz on every world I've been to.
Didn't expect to see you here. Are you here to oversee the operation? We've got shotgun shells, so there'll be no question that it's a hunting accident.
Very good.
Seems like Hurley is a blabbermouth on every world, too. He doesn't know the rest of the people with the supposed sheriff are in on this little coup he's planning.
Sounds like they're planning to ambush some guy in the woods.
We're tourists. Not our problem.
Get me a Jamaican Pikachu at once, Mr. Mallory. Quinn disagrees with Arturo's prime directive stance and thinks they should try and stop whatever assassination is about to take place, which ends up being an attempt on Prince Harold. But for all they know, Prince Harold could be a real tyrant and they could be dooming the British states to a worse fate. Luckily, though, it turns out the Sheriff of No Thought is the real villain of the piece. Soon-to-be King Prince Harold also loves to make it super easy for him to get taken out by going on completely solo hunting expeditions, which seems a bit unlikely for someone in his position, plus he's not even wearing any orange. But perhaps that is one of his few correct calls, as it seems more people are purposely trying to hit him than might accidentally hit him. After they save Harold, we get one of those commercial breaks that changes the situation in a weird way. We see Arturo go to talk to the sheriff's deputies who are going to carry out this assassination when suddenly it's nightfall and the team are alone with Harold. What did Arturo possibly say that just ended the situation with the deputies leaving them alone in the woods?
Oh, my bad. Instead of getting rid of him, we're just gonna go on a hike together. Bye.
And if Arturo was easily able to take command of them, why wouldn't they have had them give them a lift back into town? Or they could at least use whatever vehicle the prince must have used to get into the middle of the forest, but that never gets mentioned.
I'm getting rather hungry.
I'm a very stupid royal, you see, and I have no sense of the current situation. They want to make sure I'm never crowned king, you say? Well, maybe I won't be king of America, but I can still be the king of the Whopper.
I am not your sheriff.
And I am not Prince Harold, and this is not my game reserve.
And you are not long for this earth.
What the devil?
What the devil?
Stripped clean.
The restriction on this area is more of a suggestion, really.
Where's the timer?
It's in my pocket.
I would sure hope so. That's one of those things you don't leave in the damn car.
Look who's wandered into raided territory.
So the prince's private hunting reserve is also where the modern-day Robin Hood gang hang out. I don't think Sheriff Arturo really needed a plot to get rid of Harold. The royal stupidity on display would have taken care of that pretty soon.
Raiders? You're not the Oakland Raiders.
If you know who we are, little brother, why are you stupid enough to come down here?
They are literally the Oakland Raiders. Good one, Sliders. Best football team reference since the Pokemon movie.
I didn't know Vikings still existed.
They mostly live in Minnesota.
Quinn pretends that they were on the way to turn in the sheriff and the prince, but I mean, the prince was just a few feet away. How did these twits not already capture him?
Listen to me, they're worth more to us alive than dead.
Quiet!
We want our brothers and sisters out of jail.
Well, as long as these hostages are alive, the government will give us anything we want.
Why is everyone in British world an idiot? The rebels seriously thought the best use out of capturing the two most powerful people in their part of the world would be swiftly getting rid of them? Now that they're gone, you'll release your prisoners, right? Please? Meanwhile, we see the sheriff is using his TV show to sway public opinion to the prince being the real villain and him being the man of the people. But I mean, come on, it's not like people are that easily fooled, right? Damn it.
Cut!
Few negative respondees are statistically insignificant.
They'd be completely insignificant if we had them killed.
Yeah, nothing at all like our world. They get some ransom demands from the Oakland Raiders, which doesn't make a lot of sense to the Sheriff of Blot, since as far as he knows, he's not captured. And by this point, the prince should have had his little hunting accident.
The prince is dead.
We left him in the woods following your instructions.
My instructions?
It truly is an administration that persists despite its obvious evilness and stupidity.
I want Prince Harold's head on a platter, or I will have yours.
You foolish putz! Speaking of putzes, Wade has to really beat it into Prince Harold's head that the sheriff isn't his biggest fan. Especially when, if the prince was gone, the next in line for power is, gasp, the sheriff! Again, the Oakland Raiders prove that they aren't the brightest either, as they're about to make an execution video when their demands aren't immediately met. Maybe they should have given actual video proof that they have the prince and sheriff before jumping to that. And it's only the actual sheriff doing a live broadcast that halts their plan of get rid of their bargaining chips.
Rob from the rich and give to the poor.
We truly have forgotten what being Robin Hood is all about.
Violence begets violence. Look at Northern Ireland. What's Northern Ireland? Let him speak.
He's saying things not relevant to our world. We need to hear this.
Power to the people! Power to the people!
What did we think we were fighting for originally?
Thanks to Quinn's rousing speech, the Raiders start pulling some literal Robin Hood jobs. Though they could probably really destabilize the public's faith in the sheriff if they, I don't know, use the fact they had the prince and how easily the sheriff let him get captured. And the editing on this sequence is extremely embarrassing.
To those of you who would advocate violent revolution from below, who have aided and abetted Quinn and the Raiders.
Quinn and the Raiders? Did Quinn start signing his name to the Robin Hood jobs the Raiders were pulling?
Quinn Mallory.
I don't think he's going anywhere, do you, Charlie?
Rebecca's orders.
Quinn's orders.
Quinn has become a leader of the Oakland Raiders. This episode is kind of insane. It's also a bit strange how the Sliders have ended up in a situation very similar to the one in Soviet America.
You are extraordinarily beautiful.
Do me a favor, Harold, okay? Don't go all goopy on me.
Oh, I'll show you how goopy me brains are.
When this is all over, do you suppose we might be able to see one another?
I do believe I'll make Stockholm Syndrome my bitch. From this day forward, it shall be Harold Syndrome. That's when you want to date your captors after 2 seconds.
I really value you as a friend.
They're friends? Since when?
You're the big folk hero. What's going on with you and Miss Urban Terrorist?
Oh yes, random raider Rebecca kissed Quinn earlier so that he and Wade can both be jelly. Kinda slapdash to throw this into the middle of the plot at this point.
How about we decided no involvements?
Unless it's something really important, like astrology. Wade left the prince untied and he promptly got away through the giant escape vent that the Oakland dummies left right beside him. They should have at least put some baby gates up so the prince wouldn't hurt himself. Really, I'm amazed that Harold has any sense of self-preservation at this point. Then again, he is fleeing to the other people that want to take him out. And really, of all those footballers turned Robin Hoods hanging around in their bunker doing nothing, not one of them could have had the job of keeping an eye on their extremely valuable prisoner. So as the leader of the Raiders now, Quinn heads off to save the prince from himself. Of course, seeing as Quinn's a face of this Robin Hood Raider resistance now, he's a pretty dumb choice for this operation, and guess what? Yeah, he's immediately arrested by the sheriff's men. Great job, Cuba! And Harold is realizing that being poor isn't all it's cracked up to be. My word, I had no idea the poor didn't have butlers to straighten up their messes after playtime.
Will he be executed, Sheriff?
Yes, of course he'll be executed.
Bloody devil.
Don't forget, we're British! Sort of!
Here's what we do. They kill Quinn Mallory, and we start a campaign of random bombings.
Quinn really knows how to leave them wanting less, I guess. So, yeah, the Raiders' new plan will be no plan.
We start a campaign of random bombings.
Yeah, we're dealing with a real mind here.
But Operation Blow Themselves Up gets interrupted by the prince bringing himself back to the other people that wanted him out of the picture. I mean, he's the prince of this land. Surely there had to be a better option than just the sheriff's men or the rebels.
I realize after what I've seen in our streets, how naive and foolish I've been.
So we're not so different after all.
You're going to expose the sheriff, pardon Quinn, and introduce the concept of democracy.
So yeah, the Raiders raid the TV station so that the prince can interrupt the sheriff's show, which is getting really bad in its 5th season anyway. And they get Quinn out of the chair, which I guess he was really expedited to.
Gonna enjoy watching you fry.
That guy Hurley's a putz.
First Amendment guarantees
Freedom of speech.
good lad. The second,
Right to bear arms.
scratch that one.
Yeah, it's a little late to protect yourselves from the British.
Oh, the hell with it. You're on your own, lad. Wing it.
The sheriff of San Francisco has abused his office and is therefore dismissed from his post.
Wow, the sheriff sure was stupid publicly trashing the prince if he could just easily dismiss him from office like that. Yay for last minute pardons, bye! But hey, at least they weren't about to make Quinn eat dog food.
Will I ever see you again?
Truly a romance to last till lunchtime.
They kill Quinn Mallory.
Will I ever see you again?
Will you be my queen?
Yeah, this world's gonna fall apart 2 seconds after they leave. So another half-hearted relationship bites the dust. But at least the old Canadian department store Eaton still exists on this world, so the prince can drown his sorrows there.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Yeah, and it says something here about no kings. Why, that's absolute rubbish! Have all the raiders executed at once! I'm the king now!
It is the British way! It is the American way!
Definitely some early season show syndrome kicking in on this episode, as there are just way too many logic holes and characters making moronic decisions. The Sliders ending up with some rebels and having to save a member of the team is all a bit too samey to beats in the pilot movie as well. The biggest slide hole of the episode is gonna go to Prince Harold. This guy was pretty much begging to die with how stupid and oblivious he was. Really, the only reason Mr. I go out in the woods on my own right by the Rebels hangout wasn't taken out earlier is because the Oakland Raiders fumbled the ball at every given opportunity. Next time on Sliders, I got a fever, and the only cure is Quinn being patient zero.
We start a campaign of random bombings.
Are we the baddies?
As I've mentioned before, the episode Fever was originally aired as the second episode by Fox as they thought it to be a stronger story. Though, according to Tracy Torme, Fox weren't actually that big on this episode until the movie Outbreak came out, and then suddenly it was great and they had to air it after the pilot. But before we get to Q Fever World, there's a short stop off on Oil Boom World, where a bunch of people in San Francisco have newfound wealth thanks to oil being struck everywhere. They're in fact so rich they don't even have to care about their health anymore and just let oil cover their houses.
Oh, I like this one.
Rembrandt is definitely the smartest one here as he grabs up a bunch of the cash being tossed around, which is naturally the first thing you do once you get rich. Really, the rest of the team should have taken Remy's cue considering how often they need money on a lot of the worlds. Which this could have solved, as long as the money matched the world they were on.
Quinn Mallory, haven't you heard, man? You hit the motherlode!
And now we've got the return of Quinn's classmate, Mr. Wing.
They just found a gusher in your backyard. You're a millionaire, Quinn! Jeez, man, don't celebrate so hard. You might hurt yourself.
And now we've got the exit from the series of Mr. Wing. I know a lot of people said they stopped watching Sliders after Wing's character was written out, and it's easy to understand why, as the show was really never the same after this point. Joking aside, I think there was potential in using Quinn's classmates from the pilot movie more. Had they actually cut back to Prime Benish sometimes, Wing would have made sense as someone to be involved with another team possibly sliding.
There's oil everywhere and everybody's rich.
And inflation is about to be a bitch. Grab the cash and get out of there.
How much time we got? About a minute. Well, this sucks.
It really kinda does suck, though. Every time I see Fever, I kinda wish there'd been a full episode on Oil Boom World. In either order of the episodes, there are a lot of rather dire situations, and a lighter one on this world could have been nice. You could have had the dilemma too of maybe some of them don't really want to leave this world, or the money going to some of their heads.
If I could fix the timer, we could get home.
Why don't you just stay on the world where you have free money to try and fix it though? Oh no, we'll be stuck on Money World for 30 years. The horror! Seems like this would be a much easier spot to work on the timer too. Guess that wouldn't make for a great show though, would it? I do like that someone's first response to the oil boom was to run out and spray "Greed is sexy." The portal really doesn't like Wade apparently and spits her onto the road on Q Fever World. I don't know why Wade almost getting run over right after a slide is something that happened again so quickly.
Thank you.
How could you? I was trying to help you.
I guess he just doesn't like to be kissed.
Could have something to do with him being that sickly yellow color? Nah. Seeing a body bag tossed into a CHC dumpster makes the whole team hungry. Another weird reoccurring bit concerning the professor's snack attack on Soviet America. They are so preoccupied with dinner, the team makes no note of people veering off onto the road so they don't walk too close to them. That seems a little familiar, doesn't it? Next, we see everyone in the restaurant glaring at someone coughing. Yeah, looks like the Sliders have slid right into the 2020 pandemic. It would appear Sliders is almost as good at predicting the future as The Simpsons.
You little...
Though there are no masks, which seems a bit odd given this world situation. I know not everyone would wear them, but you'd think some would be. They do have a little decontamination arch as you enter though, at least that's what you would assume that is. The team finds out though that this ain't Burger King and you cannot have it your way.
My good woman, we haven't even seen the menu yet.
There is no menu. You got a problem with that, take it up with the CHC. Don't I know you? You've been in here before.
Never.
The crap burger immediately lives up to its reputation as Remy immediately runs off to puke it up. In the sink, too, instead of the toilet. Guess he wants them to know what they did. That's when he makes the discovery of Quinn being the patient zero of the Q fever epidemic.
$1 million reward.
So Rembrandt immediately turns Quinn in. Goodbye forever, Q-Ball. It's not until the California Health Commission are in grabbing Mr. Coffee that the waitress has a delayed realization that Quinn was the man with his face plastered everywhere. Just cost yourself $1 million, you dummy. Of course, the man Wade kissed earlier was in advanced stages of the Q infection, and now she's starting to feel it.
I'm gonna get you some aspirin. Soapwood? Wormwood?
Wormwood? I don't know if a visit from the Green Fairy will really help Wade out, and she's really not going to need any help hallucinating pretty soon. Rembrandt goes to get a room for everyone, and we meet the first version of a few that we'll see of Gomez Calhoun, played by Will Sasso. Funny earlier role for Will Sasso, who would appear in the Paul McGann Doctor Who movie just the next year, which Yi-Ji Tasho, who played Mr. Wing, was also in. So the Doctor Who movie was a real Sliders reunion, in the way that they didn't share any scenes together in either thing.
You know, of course, we can't allow any sick people in this motel.
Hangover.
You know how it is.
Old Mr. Gomez Calhoun accepts the flimsy hangover cover. I would say, given this Q fever pandemic situation, you'd think people would be more careful, but we know from 2020 that a lot of people would rather die than suffer minor inconvenience for a little bit.
It's you. It is you.
And hey, it's you, Dean Haglund, Lanley from The Lone Gunman on X-Files. In fact, he ended up double booked for filming and missed the episode of The X-Files Fearful Symmetry due to his appearance on this episode of Sliders.
You're like Charlie Manson and the Night Stalker combined.
You're nuts.
I could see you wanting to miss out on filming when the Lone Gunmen were ghosts or some shit, but the show was still good at this point.
You took a whole society down, Quinn, and all you had to do was breathe, man.
Well, you know what they say, never meet your heroes, especially if they are a patient zero.
Do you have any aspirin? As in, for headaches. Who's got a headache? You?
And now I got this damned headache.
A what?
Headache. Surely you know what a headache is.
A what?
No one is allowed to have any kind of headache anymore!
Blistering idiot.
They're coming for you, man. I just placed the call. They'll be here any minute. Chaos Land!
You wouldn't think someone this deranged should be in the healthcare profession, but stupidity reigns, I suppose.
Go!
That's it!
You saw him get hit? They ambushed him. There was nothing I could do.
Goodbye forever, Mr. Mallory.
The Quinn of this world was a failing medical student who deliberately infected the general population.
Or so the Germans would have us believe.
Well, then we've got to get him out. We only got 28 hours before we slide.
While I do think that Fever is overall an interesting episode, this is the third time already that a world they're on is in disarray and that one of them has been captured.
You may have to go on by yourself. We can't possibly take this plague to another world.
What do you mean we? She's the one who's... You two.
Jeez, Rembrandt was ready to leave Wade again? Goodbye forever, Wade. I do rather like these sequences where Wade starts hallucinating and starts seeing some serious shit. Some of this looks like it could have come out of a pretty decent looking horror movie. Meanwhile, Cue Ball's having a blast being hosed down and zapped, because that's the best way to do science, I guess. But shock of shocks, their supposed patient Zero doesn't have Q fever.
Initial decontamination complete. Q infection not present.
What?
Boy, wish we'd found that out before the last several hours of pointless torture. Wade's gone out for a little delirious walk, and it's basically like she's in eternal darkness and her sanity meter's low.
This isn't really happening!
A bunch of Q-infected wander out like zombies, but they're just doing that for the commercial break suspense. We can only assume that after staring at them like the undead, they were like, hey, we have a makeshift center set up for people who are infected if you want to come with us. Sorry about the whole zombie thing, we just zoned out for a second.
We do know who you are.
Of course you do. Everyone does.
I'm kind of a big deal around here, not to brag or anything.
Quinn, I knew you'd come back for me.
She's about to go red-eye.
Red-eye, what does that mean?
She's gonna take a really late flight.
Final stage, terminal.
Which terminal? Damn it, are we on the wrong side of the airport again? Don't really know why Q-Boy is alive if Red Eyes is the last stage of this fever before you croak. Guess he's special because he's patient Zero? They don't really explain that one.
She acts like she knows me. She doesn't seem to be hallucinating, but I know we never met.
Excuse me, what? She doesn't seem to be hallucinating? That's all she's been doing for the last several hours. Some Q expert you are, Q-Ball.
I've been sliding through an interdimensional wormhole, seeing how many different ways people like you can screw up civilization!
You didn't need to go sliding for that, Quinn.
Your acceptance of our situation surprises us.
I don't have time to be skeptical. So until I learn otherwise, I'll accept who you say you are.
I do rather like Q-Boy's philosophy here. Kind of like, well, your story's out there, but if it's a lie, you're the ones more screwed than me.
I was a medical student. I volunteered to be a lab subject to help out this doctor, Darren Morton. He gave me the cue, swore I was all right, and released me into the population.
So it turns out the story of this Quinn purposely running around infecting people was some kind of cover story. Now, if Dean Haglund's character had been Patient Zero, he probably would have purposely done this and they wouldn't have had to make shit up. It seems, though, like this was some kind of MK Ultra-ish experiment. To what end they are getting at creating this Q pandemic, though, I'm not sure. They seem to hint it might have been some kind of population control thing to mostly get rid of the poor. The main thing is, though, that they never made anyone play a trippy arcade game.
Dodging from one quarantine zone to another.
And hoping the next quarantine zone will be the quarantine zone home.
Why is it resistant to antibiotics?
Antibiotics?
So one of the twists on this world is that antibiotics were never developed, which really does work well for being a situation where the Sliders are the ones in a unique position to solve the problem.
Mold.
Huh?
Penicillin!
I hope you know what you're doing.
So do I.
Wait.
Goodbye forever, Wade. So it turns out Q-Boy had a previous relationship with Eileen Stanley, who's one of the doctors examining Prime Quinn.
Here, you take this to her. She'll know it could only come from me.
No one else would ever wear an earring like that! A generic hoop!
Only Quinn would send me a message this boring. Now that we know Eileen Stanley's a good guy, she helps Prime Quinn escape and get shot. Guess that whole earring bit went nowhere. Wonder if this was because of a rewrite or something?
You really do love driving cabs, don't you?
Imagine across multiple worlds, every version of you does the exact same thing. That's a new level of being stuck in your ways. Rembrandt pays old Pavel to wait for him since he's got all that cash from Oil Boom World. And now, Eileen Stanley is just dying in Quinn's arms tonight. It must have been something you slid. Again, this character's plotline seems to just get cut off rather abruptly. I always think she's gonna do more than she ultimately does. I'll never leave you, woman I don't know. Okay, bye. Man, that Pavel sure is one bulletproof cab.
Because of me, the woman I love more than life itself is gonna die.
More hinting towards that eventual Quinn and Wade relationship, which doesn't end up happening. I love this extra here. She's like, I am somewhere else right now. I will stay as still as possible. She's still doing it in Quinn's close-up even.
It's me, but I'm healthy.
Yeah, I've seen myself before. It's old news now. I'm seeing double! 4 Quins!
Nice Simpsons joke, Wade. Arturo has developed his antibiotic, but he's not sure if it'll cure or kill, so he tests it on himself first. Anything to get off the show before it turns rotten, huh, Professor? Evil Dr. Borton forces Pavel to show him where he took Quinn, since he's gotta be extra upset considering how many times he's lost to Quinn already. And he's really close to getting the nickname Dr. Q-Hole.
You too? Yeah, me too. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I guess so, considering that you're surrounded by the infected with no protection.
The doctor, he's made up a bottle of Professor's mold juice.
Mold juice. If it doesn't work as a cure, maybe I can sell it as an energy drink. Anyway, the cure works, so mold juice shots are on the house. So, we've been desperately trying to capture Q-Boy, and we never thought to check the whole barricaded up side of the city? Another stunning success for Dr. Borton.
So he was telling the truth. There is no cure.
There is now, and I'll be damned if I let you have it.
I could kill you right now and take it.
So Dr. Borton does want a cure, which again kind of confuses me on what his plan originally was with infecting Q-Boy. Maybe he really is just that incompetent, and we can't say it's unrealistic for a complete moron to be in charge of health-related matters. Q-Boy lets Borton know, though, that the cure has already been spread across to other areas, so his bad plan of control through chaos is over.
Give him help!
I had the strangest dream.
It wasn't a dream.
It was a nightmare!
No matter what happens from here on in, sliding made a difference.
So please remember that once all the bad stuff starts pouring in.
Did you tell her about the cannibals?
Don't look at me, I'm just a chicken McNugget. You the quarter pounder.
I like the whole darker story this episode told, with the deliberate spreading of the Q and how it was something discovered on our world in 1928 that was the cure. It's still a shame we couldn't have gotten a full We're Rich episode. And I do feel like Dr. Morton being the true villain comes a little late, and what his real plan was could have been a bit clearer. Eileen Stanley could have also used a bit more development, as it seems like she's gone before her plot ever really gets going. The biggest slide hole of the episode is Q-Boy for his comment about Wade not hallucinating. Of course she was hallucinating, you dumbass! Next time on Sliders, things really lighten up as it's only the end of the world.
The self-activating front door home protection unit. Mike, this actually sprays and sterilizes every guest that enters your home.
Well, geez, why didn't we have that in 2020? things get just about as dire as they possibly can on this episode of Sliders Last Days, as an asteroid is about to hit the Earth the team has landed on.
When does it arrive? Friday. It's 2 days' time.
How long are we here?
3 days.
So, once again, I've got to bring up the airing order mess caused by Fox and how the deletion of the explanation of having to wait for certain windows really hurts this episode, as that's what sets up the main dilemma for the Sliders. They don't have a way off this world before it's set to come to an end. This is made extra messy, of course, by Summer of Love airing 2 episodes after this, where guess what they can do? Force a slide early!
The timer may be messed up, Quinn, but we've got to go.
It just looks extra stupid to be able to do that to escape the spider wasp, but they won't do that here to escape the end of the world. We know, of course, that they aren't supposed to be able to do that, but the airing order mess makes it seem like they could have. By the way, they kind of spoiled the dramatic reveal that they're stuck on this world longer than it has right at the beginning.
72 hours and change.
Emergency vehicles only.
Oh yeah, the street really looks jam-packed.
$17 for an apple?
And if there is anything to be gained by the world ending, it's finally being able to gouge people on apples.
What is this place, Inflation World?
Maybe this is the aftermath of Oil Boom World. Or it's Earth Prime. So yeah, in addition to the price-jacked apples, there's some mild chaos on the streets, including the utter insanity of illegal parking. That's right, the world is ending, so park like there's no tomorrow.
I wouldn't do that.
Or you'll what? How many times you get a chance to do that in your life?
The parking renegade here is Mace Moon, the owner of Moonatic Electronics, a store we've actually seen pop up now on 3 different worlds: Spider Wasp World, Flood World, and Hippie World. And guess what? We actually saw Mr. Moon the Loon on Hippie World, and you might wonder why I didn't bring him up when he's a reoccurring character. Well, him standing in front of his store handing out flyers is all we got of him in Summer of Love. He was supposed to have a bigger part, but it got cut. I'm assuming it might have had to do with part of the cut business of Quinn fixing the timer, since he likely would have hit up an electronics store. Mace Moon was another element that was meant to be more of a thing across more worlds, but unfortunately this is the last time we'll be seeing him. We could have had a rivalry spanning across many worlds where he refuses to pay parking tickets.
You're not even worth the paperwork.
Is anything worth the paperwork when you've supposedly got 2 days left?
It's the biggest sale in the history of discount electronics.
So, electronics cheaper, apples pricier. Okay.
You people just crawl out from under a rock? The asteroid's coming.
Asteroid?
Yeah, it's the end of the world.
Wow, nothing gets Mr. Moon down. Well, except maybe on Flood World, damn moon tides. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Now, Rembrandt, on the other hand, doesn't take this whole end of the world news very well and takes off. But they do plan to meet back up like the Moonatics they are at their new favorite electronics store before everything goes boom.
I think that we should try and find our families.
Kind of a weird thought to seek out a family that isn't really yours but might look like them and might already have a spare you.
Here's my address. This is where we'll be at.
I know, Mr. Mallory. I've been to your house before. It's also weird that Quinn gives them this address before they even know if his house exists on this world or if they'll even be able to hang around it. Arturo decides he's going to do the most useful thing and see if he can aid the scientists still trying to work on a solution. However, the scientific meeting he attends is mostly just them saying, yeah, we're doomed, until this world's Benish shows up.
We gotta try the atomic bomb! Einstein made a mistake!
You are the only physicist in the world who believes that.
So in this world, Einstein purposely held back so that the atomic bomb was never properly developed. This extended WW2 until 1950 on this world, but the episode doesn't really explore the effects of that.
I've even got the prototype.
You've got the prototype of the bomb here in San Francisco?
Fat Boy. The name of the bomb is Fat Boy.
The name of the bomb was Fat Man, you blistering idiot.
So the main thing is that Benish has access to Fat Boy, and he and Arturo are going to try to work to make it operable to take out the asteroid. Meanwhile, Rembrandt has gone off to do some soul searching. He briefly considers charity work at a church, but realizes that partying with some randos is really how he wants to go out.
You like, huh? You plucked her right out of the emergency room, man. She's got all the tranquilizers you can eat.
And her last desires were to strip for people she just met on the street.
So where you guys going? End of the world blowout up on Knob Hill.
Knob Hill, huh? Sounds apt. Quinn and Wade's bogus family journey quickly ends in failure, as hers apparently doesn't exist here, and Quinn's have vanished into fat boy air.
Oh, nice haircut.
Jeez, mean Wade. Apparently the art department got this picture from Jerry O'Connell's mother. He said it was the slimmest one of him as a kid that they could find. I do like that this is one of the episodes where we get to see an alternate version of Quinn's basement lab.
Dinosaur stuff?
I also like that Wade sounds so disgusted by dinosaur stuff.
It's not a complete inconsistency. I've always been into paleontology.
Luckily, Quinn's dinosaur stuff didn't completely get in the way of developing sliding. Well, at least, maybe.
They must have slid off this Earth to get away from the asteroid.
Maybe.
But before they left, I guess they wanted to make sure Quinn's equipment and dinosaur stuff wouldn't get dusty. We never get confirmation if Quinn's family made it out of the Petticoat Junction, but we can only assume if he did slide, he went to Dinosaur World. But this is possibly the team's other way out, Quinn figuring out how to make a stable sliding device again out of what his neat freak counterpart left behind.
Do we have the right to unleash the nuclear genie on an unsuspecting world?
So this is Arturo's main dilemma with actually getting the Fat Man working, especially where it seems that Asteroid World Benish here isn't exactly the nicest person and would definitely use it to seize power.
Who's gonna say no to us anyway, man? We've got the atom bomb.
We got like 24 hours left. We're gonna party with every girl in this joint.
We're gonna find some more white curtains to really get this party poppin'. Yeah, hit the generic stock music. This is the best party ever.
Man, there's gotta be cooler end of the world parties than this. What am I doing here?
Man, there's trash in the place.
Don't worry about it. It's my house.
Remy meets up with Caroline Fontaine, played by Jennifer Hetrick, who was Vash in Next Generation and DS9. And guess what? She'll actually be appearing on Sliders again in the series finale, so yeah, don't hold your breath. Claire's husband runs off to mess around with other women, so Remy figures it's cool to keep flirting it up with her.
Soon I may be able to voyage back through the centuries to the land of the Allosaurus and the Brachiothix. Basically, the guy was heavy into the dinosaurs. He was working on time travel.
This is an interesting bit here that Quinn was working on something different. Guess that means he didn't slide out of here, though, unless he accidentally created sliding too. Or did he go back in time to hang out with the dinos in the past? Unless they really are just in an alternate universe, and what if they found a way back?
We don't want to go back in time. We want to go home.
I don't even think time travel's possible.
I like how dismissive Quinn is of time travel. Don't worry, we won't be adding that. Dimension hopping is enough.
Has it ever occurred to you that maybe we could talk to one another? Maybe discuss how we feel about all this?
Just give me a half an hour.
I promise to have some feelings by then.
First, though, Quinn gives his best shot at getting stupid time travel dinosaur stuffed boys equipment working, but all he exceeds at is blowing out the power. So, this Quinn likely did not make it off this world and is really just at some museum hugging dinosaur fossils.
Now what? It's fried. It was our only chance. I wouldn't even be in this mess if I knew what the hell I was doing.
I'm the one that wanted to slide, remember?
Yeah, and you're also the one that made us fry the timer on Spider-Wasp World so that we can't leave. Quinn, that hasn't happened yet.
What sense does that make, Wade?
I have no regrets.
No regrets either.
I have done more and seen more since we started sliding than I ever imagined possible. I really feel connected to all those other Wades out there. If I die here, at least I know they're gonna go on.
Guess that's a nice way of thinking of it, especially with how this show went down. Hey, maybe we weren't even following the same team of sliders by the end of it. That's also a nice thought.
I got a whiz.
Hopefully not in the bomb, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Arturo decides this world is probably better off without Benish having so much power, so he swipes some of the schematics they've developed. Well, it's no generic stock music, but I guess we'll take it. Looks like this party could use some AC too. Some end of the world party. I won't be coming to the next one here. So after adding some more life to the party, Rembrandt finds out in the seedy back curtain rooms that they're adding the exact opposite to the party with some Russian roulette.
Do it for me. I mean, I know you want to.
Ridiculous. Let's go, Caroline, okay?
Caroline? Not Caroline?
You're welcome to her, man. You're both losers.
Winners hang out with the curtains blowing their heads off.
You're amazing. I never realized.
You're unbelievable.
Man, why does this world's music blow so hard? Quinn and Wade decide to stop beating around the bush and show how they actually feel about each other, which means they'll be a couple from now on. Ha ha ha! Oh, just kidding. We couldn't have a happy couple in a show. That'd be horrible.
Ah! There you are.
Perfect timing! Ha ha!
I need your help. Food. I can't remember when I last ate.
He's working on saving the world and they couldn't order out anything for them?
What missile?
The missile that we are just about to launch against the asteroid. Do you not keep up with the news?
Well, we've been kind of busy.
Well, I'm not interested in your stupid relationship that's not going anywhere.
Mr. Mallory, do come on. We have a police escort.
We couldn't get a pizza, but we could get a police escort.
You just gave Conrad Benish the power to take over the world.
No, I did not. I retained one of the key schematics.
I just need to be super careful with this. Oops, guess I wasn't. Oh well, it's not the end of the world.
How you feeling? Oh, better, Reverend. This place, it kind of brings me back to my roots.
Guess charity work really is where it's at. Anyway, I gotta go. Goodbye forever, Caroline.
Thanks for everything.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Caroline. I'll see you again in 4 seasons. Ugh, enjoy your stupid charity work.
E equaled MC squared. It's in the bag.
If we survive, I promise you this, I will dedicate my life to isolating the gene that makes you so obnoxious, and I will destroy it.
That sounds like a lie.
Did they break into the electronics store, or did Mace Moon just open it for them so they could hang out and reunite with Rembrandt?
Arturo and Benish build an atom bomb.
They did what?
Yeah, that's the right reaction to that. Wait, I made my peace. You mean we're gonna live? That blows! The missile misses and they all die. The end. And you thought it'd take me forever to finish Sliders. So now the world moves on. Rembrandt, I guess, brought a positive change to Caroline's life, and we assume she's left whatever was left of Russian Roulette Boy. What doesn't change, though, is Mace Moon still getting a ticket. All's well in the world, I guess. Anyway, we're only interested in one part of the team that saved the world for some reason, but I guess he's gonna rule us all soon anyway.
Anybody messes with us now?
Fine, but we still aren't springing for any food. Man, ruling the world blows. There were some nice character bits in this episode, and it was fun having Arturo have to work with Benish. And this is the episode where he ended up getting used the most. Unfortunately, we're only going to get one more, maybe, appearance by him in Season 2. Definitely some potential lost here with this character. The biggest slide hole of the episode is the lead scientist / all the other scientists for not looking into the atom bomb and leaving that solely in the hands of Benish. Guess they deserve to have their world taken over by him. Next time on Sliders, they land on a world ruled by the matriarchy. Oh boy! Or girl, rather.
save the world! Fat boy!
Fat Boy, in case you didn't know, is the name of the bomb, just in case you had other ideas.
Okay, I think the portal's just trying to off the sliders at this point. How Quinn hasn't broken something after that fall is astounding.
Roughly 6.5 weeks to the next world.
And the world is ending in only 5.5 weeks. Ow! Actually, for once, things aren't quite as dire on the world that the sliders have landed on. Which I guess is especially lucky for them with that 6.5 week layover, as that's quite the lengthy stay.
Maybe our journey's at an end. Take a look around.
The woods? How's that possibly a sign of anything, Wade?
This is home, then there should be a news vendor's called Bernie's just at the entrance to the park.
We're home, they should be selling the best hot pretzels in the world.
First, the forest around the park still exists, and now this stand still has pretzels? I don't know how any other alternate dimension could be so exact!
This pretzel is identical to those at home.
Given the way the portal tossed everyone into this world, I think they've all got brain damage.
Yeah, I got 31 cents.
You seriously blew all the cash from Oil World already?
You know, the president's about to speak.
President Clinton?
Of course I mean Clinton.
My fellow Americans.
How could the pretzel have betrayed them? I thought that was a surefire way to tell if you're home or not. So the big twist on this world besides a pretzel is that it's run by a matriarchy.
Evidently, we've landed on a world where women are in authority and men are relegated to a second-class status.
And look who's the Pope.
Wait a second, the team has money woes as usual and they blew a bunch of it on sharing a pretzel. How did Quinn get that book? Also, old Bernie must not have paid very close attention to Wade's $5 bill, since I'm sure it likely does not match Matriarchy World's currency in the slightest.
Hey, check out the Sports Monthly Swimsuit Edition.
There's absolutely no men's swimsuit magazines in our world. It's also kind of funny that they show a magazine with Janeway on it, because, you know, that is something from our world. Maybe if there's a magazine saying that they're doing a Star Trek series with the first ever male captain, it would make a bit more sense. Whoa! What the hell is this? Men taking care of their children? Men are incapable of caring for their kids in our world. This is wild!
The only jobs I'm qualified for are a nanny situation out in Napa and a nude photographer's model.
I have to imagine it'd be hard to get a job in a world where either you don't exist or you don't know what your double's qualifications are. So, right now they're relying on Rembrandt to sing them up some money for a hotel room and some crappy spray cheese.
How'd it go?
I got the job.
Ooh, Wade totally left Quinn hanging on the high five. Of course, her arms were so full that Quinn was kind of the idiot there for trying to get a high five. Also, I guess just because she's a woman, they gave Wade a business suit for free. Just like how it works for men here, right? And she was also given flowers? For what, a signing bonus?
A cash advance.
Hold that money carefully, Wade. We don't want to show that we didn't create money with women on it. Wade's landed a job with the mayor, who's now running for re-election, so she'll need a bunch of stupid men to do crap work.
I think I can get you guys jobs.
Arturo, knowing that this is a female-run society, decides to act like a twit and like he's the most generous man in the world for pressing elevator buttons for a woman.
Chivalry is not dead.
How lucky for us.
Well, there's far more to me than a sense of gallantry, madam, as you yourself could find out over a fine candlelit dinner.
You know, you don't have to be on a world run by women for that attempted pickup to be very weird.
Now that's very tempting, but you know, I don't like large men or men with beards or phony English accents.
Congratulations, Professor. You just hit on the mayor.
We We've been waiting for nearly an hour. At the risk of appearing sexist, I would venture to say women have difficulty with schedules.
One of the great joys of our world is no wait times for things like interviews.
Mr. Mallory, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm Lois Auchincloss.
I'm about to give you a haircut you'll never forget.
Are you going to be looking at that sports page?
And read about women basketball players?
Again, something we have on our world. Of course, I assume it's the more popular version of the sport on this world. But I don't know why you'd really care that much about the sports of worlds that you aren't native to and you have no idea what any team or players are even like.
Oh good, the Bugsburg Bumblefucks are shoo-in for the championship.
Who the hell are they?
Who cares, as long as they're men?
Brilliant. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Arturo's sudden sexism when confronted with women in power gets the attention of alternate dimension brand Phil Hartman here, who invites him to join his little men's support group or something.
I understand you're Wade's boyfriend.
It's interesting Quinn gets called that here. I'm wondering if at this point they were planning to continue with the idea that Quinn and Wade actually got together after the events of Last Days. Of course, it doesn't stick.
Wade's great. She's gonna have a bright future here.
Okay, I'd love to know what Wade did that wowed them so much when she hasn't even worked a full day here that we know of.
That was the best interview ever! Have some flowers!
We'll need you to open the office around 8:30 and make coffee for everybody.
I thought I was here to run your data processing system.
Oh, do you type?
Either Quinn didn't pay attention to what job Wade got him an interview for, or plastic hair just doesn't care because he's a stupid man. Really though, if Quinn didn't even type, he'd be a pretty poor-ass secretary.
Tell Wade she's got great taste.
What? Me no get job for skills but only looks?
Women are men's equals. But to allow one gender absolute power over another is to invite chaos.
Especially if it's the wrong gender in control, am I right?
So I guess solely because he's a loudmouth, the men's group here wants Arturo to run as their candidate for mayor.
That's crumbelievable.
You're crumbelievable.
Well, what about what you're always preaching? No involvement with the locals?
My thinking on that matter is subject to a process of evolution.
If I don't like what's happening on a world, I'll completely change my policies.
I do like Quinn being a good little boyfriend and drying Wade's hair. Enjoy your maybe relationship while it lasts, cue ball.
Now, if I can advance the cause of equality...
So, of course, the idea of equality isn't a bad one, but naturally the professor here is coming at this from a slightly sexist angle and also trying to pump up his own ego.
Perhaps toxic masculinity will have a chance on this world.
Come on, a man in political office? Next you'd be telling me men should fly airplanes.
So, this isn't exactly just a one-to-one switching of the gender roles, as males are kinda more suppressed. I guess the men's revolution never happened in the 60s. So, it's a bit more like men are treated like women were in the 50s. It makes sense to exaggerate it a bit to get more of a story out of this idea, but even still, we're getting a lot of silly things like men taking care of their children being treated like that's something that could never ever happen in our world. Rembrandt then gets picked up on the street because he's just so gosh darn cute. I thought though that Remy was singing earlier just because they had absolutely no money, and now Wade's a mega super executive in the mayor's office getting super bonuses and flowers. Gotta say though, this looks like an awfully wet and cold day to be driving around with the top down on your convertible. She lures him in with promises of a possible record deal that she has no plans of actually following up on.
Hey, I'm all yours.
Not yet, honey, but you will be.
I get they're going to some extremes, otherwise this world wouldn't really be that different, but this kind of makes it seem like this world is full of female players.
Maximilian Arturo standing for mayor, madam.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Ignorant bovine.
Ignorant bovine? Well, that should be one of your campaign slogans.
Schmoozing. Kiss a few babies.
You want me to kiss that baby?
Politicians would never be phony on our world or something.
Sir, I need to kiss your baby.
I do really like the guy running away with his child after that.
The curiosity of a man who dares to buck the system.
They laughed at Ross Perot.
They still do.
Yeah, I don't know how Arturo thought a Perot drop helps his case.
Hundreds of years ago, women got sick and tired of watching men go off to war and kill each other, so they took over. There's no war anymore, no violent crime.
I find that highly unlikely, Wade. It says here that women rule and men drool.
I shall fight you, Miss Wails.
See, men are the cause of everything bad ever.
Meanwhile, Rembrandt is getting treated like a boy toy, which would never happen here. And why is this yet another story where Rembrandt mostly has a side plot off on his own again?
All right, Professor?
As Ronald Reagan said, I'd rather have been in Philadelphia.
Who's Ronald Reagan?
I don't know why Arturo would quote that, especially when he knows Reagan wasn't a president and didn't say that on this world. Would have been better too if that guy replied, Reagan? You mean that Twink B-movie actor?
Next time, it's a bomb.
Well, I just hope it's not Fat Boy.
This Earth traveling is all right.
I got laid once. I don't care if we ever get home. Wow, I guess this is not the apartment for you if you even have the slightest vertigo. Also, it's looking rather snowy out there, which we never see when anyone is actually outside.
Oh, girl, you know how to treat a man.
Rembrandt is your boy toy. Boy toy!
Boom, boom, where are you? Hello? Rembrandt? How's it going?
Okay, 1, why is Rembrandt answering this woman's phone in the first place? And 2, how the hell does Quinn know her number? This is clearly after their first night of sleeping together, so during their date did Rembrandt tell her, hey, just a sec, I gotta give my friends your number to call me here.
Man, I can't wait to slide out of here.
You were about to be executed on British World, but having to work a desk is truly the worst you've ever had it.
Coffee.
No thanks, I don't drink coffee.
That's funny, Quinn, because only a few episodes ago, you did.
I'll take care of it, Professor. But now I need coffee.
No thanks, I don't drink coffee.
Also, he can't possibly be this dense. My superior came up to me with a pot of coffee. She must be asking if I want some, cause me a man. Also, Plastic Hair did tell him straight up that getting coffee would be part of the job.
We'll need you to open the office around 8:30 and make coffee for everybody.
No thanks, I don't drink coffee.
She's asking you to brew some?
But men don't get coffee. I thought big joke.
Look at women, they only cycle once a month. Men cycle every 20 minutes.
Boys, 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 we're trying to run a political campaign here.
Just who is Maximilian Arturo? He claims to be a university professor, but when asked to provide an employment history, he's stonewalled.
I mean, that is fair. It also begs the question, who is Arturo's actual double on this world, or did he have one? If his double's around, you think he'd be slightly surprised to hear that he's running for office, and if he doesn't exist, you think that'd be a bit of an obstacle in his political path. This is one where their doubles never get brought up, so I guess we are to assume they slid. Hey, maybe Wade came up with sliding on this world. If the show had a bit more continuity, it would have been interesting for them to run into this sliding team and have that confirmed.
Arturo is our friend, right or wrong. That stuff about his lack of academic credentials could only have come from you.
Quinn the genius dumbass comes out to play again. How the shit would Wade be necessary to find out that they can't verify Arturo was a professor?
What am I supposed to say to Mayor Ross?
Tell her I quit.
I expected many things during a political campaign, Wade, but never an attack ad! It's great that during Quinn's employment here, all we saw was him not doing his job and making personal calls. I can't take another minute of that hell job!
I am running because I really care.
Boys need to be less into Barbies and more into guns, and then we'll have a better world.
Arturo should really just break out his sheriff doubles book, Everything I Say Is Right, if he wants to win this by a landslide.
Are you here on your own behalf, Mr. Mallory? Or were you sent as a spy by that woman?
You guys are out of here in a couple of days. Who cares?
I feel exhilarated. I feel like Martin Luther King.
The fuck you just say?
If you win this election, you're gonna stay here, aren't you?
It'd be worth living on this world I loathe just to be the mayor for a few years.
Rembrandt's sugar mummy Serena's ex shows up, and he's still a bit jelly, but that's only because he's an emotional man.
She's a record promoter, okay? It's not like we're getting engaged or anything.
Oh, no, she's a record promoter.
She's not a record promoter?
Wow, if only we lived in a matriarchy, women would have the power to lie.
My therapist says I'm still working through my relationship with Mom.
Oh man, crying. Utterly ridiculous. Isn't that right? Rembrandt crying man Brown?
Oh, I'm gonna cry like a man.
Don't you let her break your heart, boyfriend.
Bad call, home slice.
Us men gotta stick together.
Because she'll steal your soul.
Your soul is mine. Damn, I need a drink.
He's got a gun! It was a man.
Well, of course it was a man. When did you ever hear of a female assassin?
1793? Well, at least that's one of the first recorded female assassins was Charlotte Corday. I mean, come on, Wade. This is such a stupid remark. Even if assassins are more typically male here, you're not on our world. And this episode repeatedly makes it clear that women are doing a lot of things that are more typically associated with men. Especially a lot of bad traits, but oh no, they'd never be an assassin.
You really can't blame them for reacting like this, Professor. It's not our world.
Oh, now she knows that.
You imposed your value system on people who just aren't ready for it.
Wow, Wade, by that logic, I guess the women's revolution should have never happened. It was silly for Arturo to compare himself to Martin Luther King, but it's not like his famous quote was, "I'll have a dream, but only if everybody is ready for it right now."
I've got gold records at home on my wall.
We love to keep saying things that don't relate to this world. And Remy knows now that Serena lied to him to get him into bed. Why is he trying to continue this doomed relationship? Maybe the Vertigo bedtimes were just that damn good.
I don't like the idea of being just another notch in your belt.
I'm a free agent. I thought we were fine on all that.
It would be better if women were in charge, except they would be just like men. I don't know what we're trying to say.
I made beef stroganoff. I slaved for hours.
Men making dinner?
Why would you become a cook?
What chef?
Chef.
Ladies cook.
Okay.
All right.
Right. That's a joke. I'll tell you one thing, man. I'm not eating this.
Don't get your boxers in a bunch.
Anyway, because the crying man is just too emotional, this relationship is over. And here I thought they might be able to keep this going interdimensionally.
You withdraw from the race.
I can't withdraw from the race.
So Arturo thinks that dropping out would hurt the drive for equal rights, so instead he decides becoming overly emotional and weeping during his debate will be better? Okay. Joke's on him though, as it turns out that people actually love the crying man. No, the other crying man.
You have hurt me more than words can say. I can't go on.
That sounded a lot like dropping out, but apparently "I can't go on" means you've got a real shot at winning, whether you want to or not.
I really think we're gonna win this thing. The network's still saying it's too close to call.
I brought us some goodies for the slide.
You're the only one who made good money on this slide, and you only managed a bag of snacks?
You don't still think that you can win, do you?
Ignorant bovine.
CNN has now declared incumbent Mayor Ross as the winner.
Let's get out of here.
They make a little wager that Wade will massage the shit out of Arturo if he wins, and he has to wait on her for the whole next slide if he loses. So yeah, you can pretty much guess how this is gonna go. They declare Mayor Ross the winner first. Arturo says, "So long, suckers!" Then they actually declare him the winner, and he misses it.
I don't know what I expected.
CNN's wrong! They declared you the winner!
Let's get out of here.
Of course, the next world is another paradise type one, since we're barely gonna see it.
How long till we next slide?
9 days, 5 hours, and 32 minutes.
Tell me the truth. Did you vote for him? Me either.
Okay, that's funny. Kinda undercuts the whole episode, but it's funny. One of the weirdest things this episode probably does, given the premise of women being in charge, is kinda shove Wade into the background for most of it. You'd think we'd want to see more of this from her perspective, though given some of her perspective she shared in this episode, maybe not. It does actually surprise me a fair amount that this episode was written by 2 women. Guess they just thought they should focus more on cliches more than saying all that much. And I think had this episode done a little bit better relating situations to stuff back home, it could have done a better job at that. The biggest slide hole of the episode is, well, it's a tie between Wade and Arturo. They were kinda 2 sides of a stupid and rather sexist coin on this episode. Next time on Sliders, intellect is actually valued? Yeah, we're on another world, alright.
At a moment when I changed that disgusting little brat's diaper. Classic.
Today's episode of Sliders asks a very important question. What if we valued intelligence? Pretty out there, I know. This is another episode that lightens things up a bit, like, maybe the last episode did. The world at least wasn't ending in that one, just our character's brain power was. Which, hey, makes it extra necessary for them to visit Smart World after that. Once again, our team slides in front of a crowd of people and no one seems to care, which kinda makes it funnier when they try and duck out of a more populated area to slide. Sliders! We got sliders here! See? Nobody cares.
At least it looks like San Francisco.
Yeah, Wade, there's a good chance San Francisco will look a lot like San Francisco on a lot of these worlds. Or at least San Francisco will look like Vancouver, but you know.
Longer library hours?
Why in the hell would anyone want that? Turns out, though, that on this world, people actually do care about the sliders. They're just oblivious to people popping out of portals in front of them.
Mr. Mallory, can I get your autograph? Make it out to Sigmund.
It's Quinn and Maxie, lady. They're the sliders.
Yeah, it turns out Quinn is a star mathlete on this thought-driven world. He's even got a sponsorship with Nikki. I really do like the Just Think It slogan instead of Just Do It.
Nike, just think it.
It still said Nike, but it's a left-handed check mark, so it's all good or something. We see a lot of just slightly off logos on this world. One you probably just read as the real brand at first is the Einstein khaki ad for the Gap. I mean the cap. Kind of funny thing too with the Wheeze one is you can see them skirting around using actual logos sometimes too. Like this Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr one where they played for the Pittsburgh Blanks. Kinda odd too, there's 2 versions of this box with more stuff taken off the uniform. Then there's a Wheeze box just celebrating the Penguins' victory, so I guess it was worth putting the team logo that time. It kinda works for Sliders at least, having the TV off logos like this, since they are on an alternate world. Though, we need to break out the actual thing for Charlie Pepsi O'Connell.
Hey, look! Up there! Professor Arturo, my mom's one of your biggest fans.
She is?
She's got all your textbooks.
She has.
What's all this excitement about?
You just saw Quinn on a billboard. Wade, come on! White people want autograph of famous guy. We don't do that on Primey Earth.
Well, we evidently have arrived on a world where they regard intellectual achievement with the same sort of adulation that we confer on movie stars or sports heroes.
Yeah, I'm just a taxi driver. Act like I don't exist.
So, since their doubles are apparently sliders, Quinn figures if he pretends to be his double, he can get access to the sliding equipment.
We're going home!
Get your hopes way up, especially before I've even seen any of the sliding equipment. The group arrives at a house that looks nothing like Quinn's place from the outside. But I guess that kind of makes sense, as Quinn's house was number 401 and he clearly gave the cabbie a different address.
Driver, 4159 Blue Jay Way.
Quinn's address is all over the place, as when we saw a copy of his license in Summer of Love, it was 3759 Lab something. Then, on Oil Boom World, Wing said he was on James Street.
Your house on James Street? They just found a gusher in your backyard.
This is the only one that really makes sense, as Quinn's double here might live somewhere else. The other three addresses are all supposedly for Prime Quinn's pad. But hey, maybe that goes along with the theory that we're not always following the same sliders.
Is that your mom? I hope not.
What? Why? The thankfully not Quinn's mother woman is a realtor, as Smart World Quinn is selling the house. But everything is apparently still inside it because he's also having an estate sale.
Home sweet home.
You were just here a couple of episodes ago, Quinn.
You're on the Wheaties box.
Breakfast of geniuses. If you get all these endorsements, how come you're so broke?
Well, how's he supposed to know he's not him?
Jeez, Wade's awfully snippy, isn't she? I think Rembrandt meant that as a question about what is going on in Quinn's double's life. Not, hey, give me an answer, cue ball! What do you know?
How come you're always asking stupid questions?
Goodbye forever, Wade. Maybe if Eggheads aired before Summer of Love, Rembrandt wanting to abandon Wade would have made sense, but it wasn't aired that way in the Fox order either. Though, maybe Remy let it slip that he was gonna ditch her on Hippie World, and that's why she's so pissed. Or maybe Wade's just upset about not being featured on Matriarch World.
What is all this stuff?
Well, at least it's not dinosaur stuff.
Dinosaur stuff?
Don't give up hope, Mr. Mallory. It's probably in a lab at the university.
Yeah, I mean, if the double's gonna sell everything in the house, you'd think the sliding equipment would be elsewhere.
Professor Arturo, you're back from your slide.
We get another reoccurring actor from X-Files showing up with William B. Davis, who of course was the smoking man, except when he ran out.
I don't smoke.
That's it.
He's a professor at the university, and you're probably expecting him to, I don't know, actually do something, but he doesn't because he's scared of smart kids.
You're so afraid of me.
Not afraid of you? Oh, that's the chairman's office. You're still the chairman.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm leaving the episode because I'm very afraid. Apparently over at Quinn's house, they had a change of clothes for everybody. Chairman Arturo's office is also the location they filmed the interviews with the cast for the electronic press kit. In a rather odd set of events, Arturo tries calling his home number and gets shocked when a woman answers.
Why'd you hang up?
There's a woman in my house.
As they think his double is off sliding, I'm not really sure who the professor thought was gonna answer his home phone.
Hello?
So, you are back.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
What a strange reaction. I don't know how Arturo thought pretending to be his double wouldn't lead to possibly having to interact with people in his double's life.
Mr. Mallory, they want you down at practice.
Being smart isn't enough. You have to be fast, focused.
I feel like this is a slight slip-up of this episode's premise. The game Quinn's double is famous for playing in this world, Mind Game, also involves a lot of regular athleticism and not just smarts, as they have to run around with a ball and capture squares while answering difficult questions. So it kind of muddles the whole point that they value brains more than regular athletics when the brainiacs are also regular physical athletes. I get that they want this to have some more action to it, and we all know that no one would ever watch shows about people just answering questions.
Yeah, and the scoring is insane. It's like the board game Go or Othello, where if you capture the right square, you can take over several of them.
That said, the whole mind game thing is kind of interesting and stuff, though if this is such a big sport in this world, it is rather funny that they aren't playing in front of a crowd.
Mallory! You son of a bitch.
Hey, Wilson. Looks like you're on the bench, pal.
So it turns out Mr. Wilson here is in league with the mob, who Smart World's Quinn owes $1 million in gambling debts to, which is likely why he has gone and disappeared. Whether he actually slid or not, we never definitively find out, we just know he's probably in hiding.
What we gonna see? We're going to the library with my homies in tow. We're grooving in the home of the librarian. Yo!
I love this library rap, but it's kind of funny that they've done them watching Another World rap more than once already.
She checks us out from behind thick glasses. We walk right past and we wiggle our asses.
I do like the detail that the mind game rulebook was written by Stephen Hawking, who we learn was also a top player of the game, so I guess he never had ALS in this world.
It's like everybody expects me to be Wayne Gretzky.
That's right, now get to the recording booth and record Smart World's version of Pro Stars.
Can't have a haunted castle without ghosts, and don't forget dragons. Gotta have dragons.
No sweat. Bow-nosed dragon. Nice day for hockey, eh?
Yeah.
Except they don't know how to skate.
Yeah.
Well, you better think of something.
Some girlfriend you are, Wade. No wonder this non-relationship doesn't last.
Yeah.
Where are my files on the sliding machine?
You keep them on your home computer.
You've been a naughty boy, Arturo.
I have.
Yeah.
Speaking of relationships, turns out Arturo in this world is married, but his wife is filing for divorce.
The first game since the return of everybody's All-American, Quinn Mallory.
Yeah, but I don't think Mallory will have much of an impact.
Wait, Quinn is one of, if not the top player this game, but they don't think he's gonna make that much of an impact?
Yeah.
The face-offs in this game are like a Family Feud question-off, where whoever gets the top answer gains possession of the ball.
He never even got near the tag, Tom. On the replay, you can see Quinn is way outside his zone with tons of ground to make up.
It's like he's a fish out of his dimension or something.
What happened?
How do I know?
Brilliant. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
The Arturo of this world is being sued for divorce by Christina Fox.
Were you in love with her?
She was my late wife. She died of a brain aneurysm at the age of 27.
Yeah.
Arturo's B-plot of having the wife he lost now alive is actually stronger than the A-plot and one of Arturo's best stories so far. It's a really interesting dilemma since you know emotionally he probably never really got over that, and of course he's now balancing that with the fact that this world's Christina is upset that Smart World's Arturo is a cheating ass.
Coach, I'm fresh. Let me get out there.
Come on, coach! Let me throw the game for the mob!
That's an interesting play, Wilson, but I'm just not ready for that.
Don't forget Quinn Mallory. I mean, this guy has really been a disappointment all game long.
Disappointed!
But it ain't over until the fat lady closes the book.
Haven't you heard that the pen is mightier than the sword?
Yeah.
So of course, Quinn has a hard time picking up the game until the very end when he pulls off the upset victory.
Makes a big difference, girl. I've got Harvard plus the points.
You bet on a game that you don't understand? You're an idiot.
Goodbye forever, Wade. Jeez, Wade's so crabby here, you'd think that this was actually Maggie. It's kinda odd too, the whole reason Quinn is doing this is to find his double sliding machine, which we know isn't at the house, but we don't see him actually searching around the university at all. It gets mentioned in passing that Quinn has looked, but you'd think that since it's the reason that anything is happening, it'd be focused on a little. Turns out Remy blew all their money on his bad bet, so I suppose Wade wasn't completely unjustified in her anger. And then Quinn gets a rather unhappy visit from the mob, who kinda want their money back, or for Quinn to throw the big game. What will we do if Quinn throws the game in the world they aren't even staying in?
I'm an enlightened man.
He sure is. This is the smart mob after all, so they like to throw out Latin quotes.
Desperati, desperandum facion.
Yeah, I didn't know we could get away with saying that.
What is your problem? Cognitive dissonance? Be mors maxime. Mors maxime. Dead!
Well, you better think of something.
What are you doing here?
I'm not sure. I just wanted to see you.
This little boy lost routine. It's old.
Yeah.
Yeah? John Rhys Davies does some really good acting in these scenes trying to work through a bunch of emotions dealing with Christina. And this time, him considering wanting to stay in this world if he could have another chance with the wife he lost makes way more sense than wanting to stay just because he won a term as mayor. I would assume, too, that Smart World's gotta be a world that Arturo would be a bit more partial to.
I don't mean to sound callous, but this woman is not your wife.
She is my Christina alive.
This is one of those arguments where you can kind of see both sides. It is rather funny, though, that Wade's trying to remind him that a double isn't really the same person when on Meteor World she wanted to go see her family. I'm glad, too, that deception is not part of Arturo's plan if he had tried to stay here and make things work with Christina.
How do I explain to her that I am not her Arturo, but I am Arturo nonetheless?
I had no idea that you were such a romantic.
I'm not waiting around for those leg breakers to come back.
Well, what about the sliding system?
Our doubles are such scoundrels, the whole thing could be a hoax. I think my double is in Europe with his mistress, having first cleaned out the joint bank account.
This really is such a better Arturo than the one we had last episode, and I like that he's not about to justify anything his double has done. But then again, maybe that just makes it easier for him to want to steal his own wife.
We're supposed to be in some elevated, super intellectual society. Everything's just as twisted as it is back home.
Intellectual refinement's one thing. Moral refinement's something different.
Very good quote, honestly.
Man, I knew getting involved on this world was a bad idea.
Oh, sure, Mr. 2020 hindsight.
Look, don't start on me now, girl.
Meanwhile, the Wade-Rembrandt rivalry continues for some reason.
They just go with the theory now at this point that there really isn't a sliding device, which is kind of a large leap with what's at stake. You'd think they'd really want to be sure on this. I don't know why they didn't have Quinn's double call or something, confused about what's going on, to confirm that he never made a sliding device. Guess Jerry O'Connell was busy that day.
Coach is going nuclear. He sent me to bring you back.
Look, tell Coach I'm off the team.
You want to break his heart, you're going to have to do it yourself.
Oh man, anything but break Coach's heart! It's worth having the mob whack me so I can make a guy I don't know happy that he won a trophy!
We're FBI, Mallory. We're not in the favor-doing business.
What we are in is the eyelight business. Pretty cool, huh? The feds know about Smart World Quinn's illicit dealings, but Quinn says he'll help them get to Mr. Big Deal. And yeah, Mr. Big Deal is right. To this one, cause it sucks.
I'll make your careers.
Christina, I am not the man that you think I am. For that individual who's hurt you so much, I'm sorely embarrassed and deeply ashamed.
Enough of this silly emotional crap. Quinn is a stupid, pointless game to win, which of course after playing one game, he's now a pro at.
Is he trying to win?
I don't know. How come you're always asking stupid questions?
Unfortunately, it turns out Orson Welles Jr. and his gang are just allowed to stroll onto the court, despite this apparently being such a big game that's being broadcast to 123 countries.
By satellite to 123 countries around the globe.
No crowd, no security. Biggest game in the world, folks. Arturo decides to leave a passionate plea to his double to stop being an idiot and to treasure his wife.
You are a fool. There was a Christina in my world, too. And when she died, I discovered that I had lost everything that gave my life any meaning.
It's a tough call for Arturo to give up personally trying to be with Christina, but I guess he's hoping there's something to actually reawaken in his double. Of course, he might just be making things worse here, and they might both be better off separated. This really is the better plotline, though, and could have used some more time over Smartball.
Hey, you guys can't go on the court.
Seems like they can, because this biggest game in the world is a real rinky-dink shit show. And I guess Borson Wails doesn't care about keeping a low profile at all.
What is your problem? Cognitive dissonance?
I like backstage too, there's just a giant Einstein head being wheeled around. Is that the Mind Games Championship? Yeah, we won! Yeah!
This is sweet.
I never dreamed I could just stroll in and chase the star player right out of the championship game. Smart world, my ass.
Drop the guns! What is this? You set me up?
I never thought I could get caught running onto the game being broadcast to 123 countries. How could anyone find out?
2, 1.
You know, Professor, you didn't have to aim the portal so you'd have to jump off the roof like that.
What's that mean? So long, suckers.
I don't even care about trying to escape anymore. I'm just so burned right now. This was a much better, lighter episode, despite there being some things that could have been ironed out a little better, and this was a solid alternate world in this episode. Just wish the budget wasn't showing quite as much with the whole mind game presentation. Though the free passes for the mob to wander around on the court certainly didn't help with the mind game's apparent lack of money presentation. Arturo's plot could have been its own episode, really, and it's another shame that this is something never followed up on again and Christina Fox never reappears on Another World. The biggest slide hole of the episode was Wade, just for being a jerk for no apparent reason so often. Next time on Sliders, Rembrandt gets the fame he deserves as the crying man is still the big time on this world.
Are you guys anybody?
I don't know. Are we?
You're just dummies pretending to be smart. Alright, finally an episode of Sliders all about Rembrandt. But anyway, first a mini story about Quinn. Quinn is in jail! Again! But unlike on British America, this time it's for a crime he did not commit, but his double did. It was a minor crime of spray painting on a freeway overpass, but this is one of your typical authoritarian type worlds where a minor crime gets hit with a ridiculous penalty.
An act of public defiance that spits directly in the face of the taxpayer. I have no choice but to sentence you to death by lethal injection.
Been there, done that before, Judge, as long as I'm not sentenced to getting coffee.
I appeal on the grounds that I believe the death penalty to be a cruel and unusual punishment.
Appeal noted and rejected.
Well, that's it then. You cooked your own goose, kid.
Oh, the hell with it. I'm really not that good.
It turns out this is speedrun court, so everything is just blown through as quick as possible to get the case out of the system. So, pretty much the opposite of the OJ trial that they're referencing with the Judge Ito lookalike here. 'Cause, you know, topical at the time.
Don't you remember Prop 199, the Instant Justice Initiative? Where have you been?
Another world!
Luckily, the timer's set on dramatic convenience mode again, so Quinn gets to avoid insane justice. I also like that he does a completely unnecessary flip into the portal.
He was telling the truth.
Perhaps from now on, I'll actually believe my clients. Pfft, nah. Well, looks like the Dudley boys got control of the portal this time, and they put Professor Arturo through a table. And despite Rembrandt and Arturo both sliding after him, somehow Quinn comes out last. This is also one of the times the sliders land in the exact same spot they slid from, which of course is not always the case. Lucky for them. You'd have to assume, too, that the portal knows not to dump them directly into solid matter, since layouts are gonna change from world to world.
That is gonna be the coolest jailbreak of all time!
I could care less about death sentences at this point. It's not like they could throw anything worse at me.
I'm Quinn Mallory.
What was that? Who in the hell was that?
The team starts getting some strange reactions from randos as they pass by.
Gentlemen, check your flies.
Why was that the professor's first thought?
You're here for the convention, right? The Crying Man convention at the Oakland Hilton. All the top Rembrandt impersonators are gathering there.
So, the Crying Man was one of, if not the top musical act ever on this world, but he's believed to be dead. So, that's why all the reactions, though I don't know why people are acting like it's strange if there's a convention in town with a bunch of Rembrandt impersonators.
Do you realize what this means?
It means you're popular here. It means we can't be on our Earth.
Ooh, major burn from Arturo.
We may not have made it home, but we finally reached the Paradise Planet.
I do love Remy being so elated that they landed on a world where he is the big time. And I also love Quinn having to walk around in cuffs. And sure, Quinn might have been on a world where Elvis was apparently still alive, but on this world, Rembrandt Brown is the king.
It's not exactly my idea of paradise.
Especially with how much we hated each other last episode for no reason. They break out a kind of sloppy Abbey Road reference, you know, one of the most over-referenced things in the world at this point. I guess instead of one being barefoot, though, it's one being cuffed. Apparently, despite the fact that people know there's a Rembrandt impersonator thing going on, Rembrandt just looks too much like Rembrandt and draws a crowd. And this is going to be a little confusing once we see what Rembrandt actually looks like on this world. Well, what he looks like most of the time, anyway.
Tears in my fro!
I beg your pardon?
I've got tears in my fro, 'cause I'm standing on my head over you.
Will Sasso's back as Gomez Calhoun, and even though he's just checking in another Crying Man, he gets excited and starts singing Rembrandt's songs only when he enters.
Tears in my fro. That was a single that I put out after I split from the Tops. Failed the chart.
Yeah, it failed the chart. Actually, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. This is another one of those little details I like. Tears in My Fro was a song that our Rembrandt sang, but it wasn't popular on Prime Earth, where here it was a hit.
Soon to be number one for 9 weeks?
9 weeks? How sweet it is!
Oh, yeah, how sweet it is.
Platform shoes. The real king, he was much taller.
I apparently don't even think you're that great of an impersonator, but I still freaked out over you compared to the others.
Where did you learn how to do that?
I do rather like Wade's non-answering of that.
Jen, I am kicking your butt, Professor.
We interrupt Skipper's Island to bring you a special bulletin.
What? They might never have Skipper's Island on another Earth, and I'll never know how truly dumb the Skipper is in this version of the show.
Mark Freelander, a tourist from Cincinnati, took a home video that may place his name alongside Zapruder in the annals of history.
I've got tears in my throat.
Wow, pretty good close-up for a crappy 90s handy cam. Guess they have advanced cameras quicker on this Earth. But hey, I'm glad these two have kissed and made up, though I'm not sure why Rembrandt being mistaken for his double on TV is a kissing moment, but sure. We then get a cameo from the singing act the Del Rubio triplets, who made a lot of appearances on TV shows around this point. They're performing for Rembrandt's former manager on this world, Captain Jack Brim, who tried to be Prime Remy's manager too.
He begged me to take him on, swore up and down he would take me right to the top. Maybe I made a mistake.
Only the top stars get kick-ass music videos like this. It's kind of great seeing the group get camp enjoyment out of the silly green screen Rembrandt surfing vid. And luckily, this one was not one of Prime Remy's songs.
Gag me. Who wrote that tune?
They also had to cut away before the wave footage really broke the realism of the video.
We believe this man,
could be Jim Morrison of the Doors. And we have positively identified the fourth individual as Luciano Pavarotti.
This is apparently just the world where they think everyone is a dead ringer for someone else, despite them not being a perfect match at all. Kinda like the two Rembrandts. They also apparently couldn't think of a singer for Wade to be.
The girl in the video remains a mystery.
Are you guys anybody? I don't know. Are we?
No!
Those people are animals.
Well, I tell you this. Hey, wait.
Despite Will Sasso's amazing dismissal of the gathering crowds, he is the one who leaked it that the Sliders are staying here, which makes Mr. Pavarotti very happy.
Mr. Pavarotti.
I am not Mr. Pavarotti. I'm an Englishman, you blistering idiot! What are you infidel?
I gotta go.
I know people are supposed to be super excited about the crying man apparently rising from his grave, but they also are rip his clothes off excited about Pavarotti just being in town.
You will call the police now.
They are already there guarding the door.
I haven't seen a crowd this worked up since Michael Jackson rejoined Public Enemy.
Oh, I guess that's why Flavor Flav made that song called Michael Jackson. Just fell out of another dimension.
Mr. Pavarotti, as I live and breathe.
This truly is the world where everyone needs glasses.
Wow. Oh, I always thought you were dead too.
Mañana, 7 p.m. An audience of billions are going to tune in to see the triumphant return of the King in concert on all 4 networks and pay-per-view around the world.
He made this deal before even meeting with the supposed Rembrandt?
The promoters, they're going to fork over $1 million per song.
Guess everyone just jumps the gun on this world, and Rembrandt isn't about to turn it down, despite the fact they're supposed to slide around when the concert is taking place.
Hey, Q-Ball, remember this beauty?
Yeah, now come on.
It's my ride from days gone by, huh?
Everyone, for absolutely no real reason, just leaves Remy alone admiring his former car, which is just suspiciously at the back of the hotel.
Who are you supposed to be? You're supposed to be you, lamb chop.
Remy's kidnapper here ends up being Maurice Fish, who was part of his old singing group, the Spinning Tops. Maurice doesn't know that this isn't his Rembrandt, so I don't know why he wouldn't think he'd be immediately recognized by him. He also got very lucky that they snuck out the back of the hotel and everyone just left him alone to be kidnapped.
Hey, alright, baby. Cry, baby.
That's why Quinn is the real genius at work.
So we can bring you Rembrandt, Crying Man Brown, in his internationally televised
What the hell?
special.
What the hell is right? You clearly aren't Clavant Derrick's. Nope, this is Clinton Derrick's Carol, Clavant's identical twin brother, but they don't look exactly the same. So it gets a little weird when everyone acts like they can't tell the two apart at all. It's kind of strange too that Clinton plays the Rembrandt of this world in most scenes, but not all, like the amazing surf adventure music video. I'll give Clinton credit though for doing a pretty good impression of his brother in parts of this episode.
Hey, baby.
Millions of viewers prepare to tune in for the largest pay-per-view broadcast event.
We'll see
ever.
about that.
Apparently, King Rembrandt was just fine playing Dead Forever, unless someone else showed up pretending to be him.
Do you realize the kind of lawsuits I'm faced with?
Another reason probably not to have set this whole thing up before you even met the supposed Rembrandt.
I'm calling the cops.
Hey, don't do that. Just remember that our kidnapper here, he's gonna contact us.
Well, that's assuming that the kidnapper wants a ransom. They could just be crazed and it's a misery type situation over there, which, yeah, it kinda is.
I don't care what that guy says. I'm calling the cops.
But think of the pay-per-view buys, Quinn! They could plummet!
You can't tell me you don't know Maurice Fish when you see him. Maurice, I don't believe this.
I don't believe this.
Well, I guess it turns out Prime Remy should have actually remembered this guy too.
I, Rembrandt Brown, acknowledge that Maurice Fish was the true brains behind the Spinning Tops. Stand right here. You won't be laughing long when I get through with you. You won't even have a tongue.
Rembrandt!
Who are you?
You know, that's what we should have said instead of Rembrandt. Kinda weird that Prime Rembrandt can't walk the streets now without getting mobbed, but the actual Rembrandt of this world just strolls in and nobody cares. I mean, Rembrandt would never wear a jacket like that. Oh, shit.
I'm the real Rembrandt. I only faked my death because I wanted to get out of the business, okay?
Has this Rembrandt had to re-fake his death several times because every time an impersonator came along, he's like, what the hell? I'm coming back! So, the police wouldn't believe that Rembrandt was really alive, unlike all the sponsors throwing $1 million per song at him for the pay-per-view. So Quinn has to use his elite hacksaw skills and get into the DMV site to find Maurice Fish's address.
Rembrandt!
No!
Yeah, I think if they use that white guy, that'll fool him. Really not sure why the team stopped by the concert hall when they already have the address for Mr. Fish. Lucky for them, I suppose, that Maurice likes to do several hours of taunting before actually doing anything.
Put the razor down, Maurice. How the hell?
How in the hell did I mistake him for you? And now, since they don't have to do any kind of effect here, they can have the two Rembrandts spin around and touch each other way more than two people ever really would. Wish I could do that with my doubles.
You sure you want this? I'm telling you, that's all I ever thought of. You become me.
I totally forgot. I was absolutely okay with someone else being me. I don't know why I came out of hiding.
I love you guys, but my place is here with my music.
And, you know, I think the show's gonna peak around season 2, and I really don't want to be the only original cast member left on a zombie version of the show. You definitely get Rembrandt considering staying here, but this is the third episode in a row where one of the sliders has had the thought of staying behind. Guess at least it wasn't Arturo again. And like the 2 times with Arturo, Remy's second time considering staying also makes a bit more sense.
Professor, say something.
You should only stay if it's for something really important, like winning a term as mayor.
Has more keys than a motel clerk.
You would think with this giant concert being broadcast all over the world, they could have gotten a better opening act than apparently low-tier impersonators.
Guess this is goodbye then.
Yep. It gives me absolute pleasure to say goodbye forever, Wade.
I'm gonna miss you, sweetheart.
We've put stupid Eggheads world past us.
It's been a delight to know you.
I take back all those things I said about everything being your fault.
So, they do treat this like it could really be the end for Rembrandt's journey as a slider. And he gets a proper goodbye with everyone, which is nice because they sure as hell don't get that when Remy does part with every single one of these characters later.
I think he's making a terrible mistake.
You're an idiot.
King Remy shows up as the Man in Black for no reason. Guess at least he tried to slightly disguise himself this time. But, you know, if you want the quiet life, stop hanging around. Hey, you know what? Maybe I could just have some little performances before Rembrandt Prime. You think you'd go for that?
Nobody's gonna be looking for me as long as he's here.
I don't think I could walk away from $1 million a song.
$1 million a song.
Well, you just screwed Remy over, Wade. It is a funny moment, though, that King Rembrandt decides to go back on everything when he hears the dollar amount.
I'm saying double.
4 Rembrandts! And thus, King Rembrandt has gone full-blown Leno. You never want to go full-blown Leno. Hey, wait a second. Did our Rembrandt always look like that and not the other guy?
I can't believe he did that to me!
Look at it this way. Maybe on the next world you'll be even bigger than you were here.
Are you really the king?
No, I'm not really the king.
At least we get free ice cream. Just don't!
A world where Rembrandt became super famous is pretty much an idea that had to happen at some point on the show. And I did like that they gave real tension this time that he might be staying on this world. I do always remember, even as a kid, being confused by the other Rembrandt in this episode, though, and why they are acting like this guy who clearly was another actor was exactly the same. Clinton Derrick's Carol would be used 2 more times in Sliders as a Remy double, but never again to this extent. In his other appearances, he was just used when 2 Rembrandts would be on screen together. Just about any other time, it'd be Clavant, and they did manage to make it more convincing with their main shot that featured the 2 of them together in Great Fellas. I think the lighting, the fact that Clinton's Wade was more similar to his brother, and the hair being closer helped a lot. The biggest slide hole of the episode is Captain Jack and the promoters for agreeing to a $1 million per song concert before any real confirmation of the crying man still really being alive. Next time on Sliders, they land on a world where if you win the lottery, you get to live it up until they cut your life off rather quickly.
Let's dance. Let's dance. Let's dance!
Let's dance.
Alright, we've arrived at the Season 1 finale of Sliders. Very short season with only 9 episodes, or 10 if you count the pilot as 2. And the show's future was uncertain and it got close to cancellation, which of course wouldn't be the last time that happened. The portal dumps the team out in a back alley, though it's directly in the view of this street vendor, and there's absolutely no way he would miss the flashing lights with people popping out, so again, nobody cares about the Sliders. Which was kind of the opposite of real life, as it was the fans of the show that got it brought back after Fox nearly made it a 1-season wonder. The team run into Henry the dog, who Wade decides to keep, and believe it or not, is actually going to become one of the Sliders. For this episode only, but still, it is an interdimensional dog. Looks like this is Fluffy Dogs, the next generation.
I've decided to keep a journal of our experiences.
Well, you just know that Wade's journal is not going to be something kept up with on the show, but you would think it would at least make it as a framing device for this entire episode, but nope, it vanishes after the first couple of minutes. Just feels like they decided they needed to have some extra exposition delivered somehow and covered it with this Wade voiceover.
On this world, San Francisco feels like a small town. We've been here almost 18 hours and we haven't seen a single person who didn't look content.
I once stepped onto an Earth just this side of paradise, where there's no pollution, no crime or hate. People were happy.
So the lottery world that our team is on now is possibly the utopia world that Smug Quinn mentioned in the pilot movie. The idea of this world apparently was thought up because of his mention of a paradise-like world in the pilot. And of course, there's a twist that this paradise-like atmosphere was achieved through extreme population control. So either Smug Quinn didn't stick around long enough to uncover the dark truth on this world, or he's just an idiot. Which, hey, he kinda was with his last minute, I'll tell you the important details as I get sucked into the portal crap. Or maybe this wasn't the world he is on. Who cares, I guess.
Take a look at these prices.
9 cents for celery? Finally! Ooh, and 35 cents for apples? Let's buy a bunch and take them back to Meteor World and make a bundle!
What is this, 1950s world?
I don't think so.
Why? You've already been on 1960s World.
Wait a minute, I've lost my wallet.
Excuse me, sir. I think you dropped that.
What the hell is this? Basic human kindness? We get our first hint of this world's twist with a billboard. Sliders sure liked using billboards early on, didn't they?
No crime, no pollution or poverty, no racial strife.
Sounds perfect like matriarchy world, right, Wade? You'd also think that they supposedly know a lot about this world from statements like this, but the episode will go on to prove this quite incorrect.
Maybe it's because there's a lottery here that simply gives out money whenever you want it.
Oh boy, it's the lottery! The lottery!
Excuse me, sir. Is there a limit on this lottery?
Are you folks from out of state?
This is kind of a bizarre statement by this guy, as we'll learn that this entire world's population is dramatically lower than the real world, so I feel like this system has to go well beyond California.
According to this magazine, there's only 500 million people on this world.
Why, that's 10% of the population of our Earth.
So, the lottery is just an ATM machine that gives you as much money as you ask for, but the larger the amount, the more likely you are to win.
Well, the sky's the limit. The more you take, the more chances you have to win.
It's obvious now that you somehow don't know how this works, but I'll leave out the most crucial info about what winning the lottery entails. Wade and Rembrandt, of course, are the two that assume there are absolutely no downsides despite the obvious ominous nature of how the system is set up.
Be very careful, Mr. Brown. We know nothing of this world.
Arturo is being the voice of reason, but what are you talking about knowing nothing of this world yet? According to Wade's voiceover, you've been here for 18 hours already! How do you still know nothing of this world?
We've been here almost 18 hours.
We know nothing of this world.
You landed and said, let's sleep in the alley and discover nothing! We find out they already have a hotel room too, so it's pretty much impossible for them not to have discovered the lower prices of everything before being amazed by celery and apples.
Rembrandt Brown, room 12 at the Motel 12. I'd like $5,000.
Wade Wells, room 12 at the Motel 12. I'd like $1,000.
You gotta admire those high rollers. May they rest in peace.
Okay, 1,000 and 5,000 aren't nothing, but you'd have to imagine with unlimited cash to ask for, people have to routinely press their luck much higher than that.
Could you tell us how to get a taxi?
Just take one of the public cars, son. There are 3 of them right over there.
There are just cars free for anyone's use, so you'd think taxis wouldn't even exist anymore. So why is the old man not wondering why Arturo even said that? But I guess no one on Lottery World really cares when people show up and seem to be completely alien to how society works here.
Come on, Henry.
Henry! Oh my God!
It doesn't even need a key.
Ooh, ahead of their time, I guess. The team does a lot of laughing and basking in how wonderful this world is for the obvious setup of the evil twist, and the professor shows Rembrandt how to fish for birds.
We're not trying to catch blue jays, Professor.
Isn't this place great?
Sort of.
If you like your run-of-the-mill paradises, I guess it's okay. It's no red means go and green means stop world, though. You really missed out on that one, Wade.
That's it. You're doing great. You're doing great.
With the portals constantly trying to take him out, Quinn eats falling off a horse for breakfast. You know, with a side of Wetties.
What are you looking at?
You.
I thought we weren't going to do this.
No, I thought Fox said we weren't going to do this. We should try to ignore them as hard as possible. So, yeah, apparently in between episodes, the relationship that never really was got called off. So, why is it even being brought up here again? Why, for Quinn to be jelly of a Wade boyfriend for the episode again, of course.
Beautiful countryside. It'd be a great place to raise kids.
And let them roam free in the woods, as nature intended.
Don't you just feel incredibly at home here?
Not really.
People are so nice.
Not really.
It'd be a great place to raise kids.
Not really.
I mean, wouldn't it be better to stay someplace that we know is good rather than get stuck somewhere terrible?
Not really.
I'm starting to think that we're never gonna get home.
Wade, if you think for 1 second that this show and all the characters within aren't gonna have a satisfactory conclusion, well, that's highly prophetic of you.
We should at least think about staying here.
We of course find out Wade is jumping the gun a bit on this world being perfect, but she does have a bit of a point. Like I said when they were on Oil Boom World, it might be better to stick to a world where you're well off and try to actually fix the timer, which is something they seem to have just completely forgotten about at this point. It should probably be any time there's a world that they aren't immediately thrown into doom, Quinn and Arturo should be like, okay, let's go science it up.
We can't throw everything away we've been working for on the basis of pretty scenery.
I mean, we could just go to Vancouver if you like woods like this. Also, I'm not really sure how relying on random select to take you home is really working towards anything.
The newly reopened Thomas Malthus Center.
Who's Thomas Malthus?
So part of the reason this world is the way it is that people took Thomas Malthus's theories on population growth leading to poverty more seriously and to an extreme. They have the population very controlled so that resources are plentiful, which in turn has led to money's weird state of being valued but also not.
Evidently in this world they took it to heart.
Obviously there's a way they have achieved the low population growth rate they have, but let's not interrogate that at all. As we find out later too, it's not a secret at all, so the Sliders are doing a really good job of sticking their heads in the sand.
Welcome to tonight's drawing, brought to you by the Lottery Commission.
Wish me luck, Henry.
Oh, hungry? Oh, Henry.
Mr. Rosso, what are you doing?
12 lucky entrants will share prize money valued at more than $5 million each. And receive unlimited white card privileges, the card that gives you everything.
So, as the one on the team most enamored with this world, naturally Wade is the one who wins the lottery.
I won the lottery!
And of course, as the episode keeps alluding to, the lottery's evil secret is that it's part of the whole extreme population control thing. So, the lottery winners get to live it up for a day before being put to death.
What's the deal with this white card?
You show it to any merchant. He gives you whatever you wish. You cannot be turned down.
Which means that the money one is basically useless to the actual winner, but they apparently get to give that to their next of kin.
I wouldn't let you jeopardize my family's inheritance.
Which would mean large amounts of money are still making it out to the living, and with the rate they get rid of winners to keep the population down, you'd think this would also have to massively upset the inflation rates, but somehow it doesn't? It's really weird the way they kind of play that money doesn't matter in this world, but also yes, it still does. And the team really should have thought for 1 second about the fact that Wade winning money and being given a get everything for free card is slightly redundant.
It's society's way of saying thanks.
Thanks for what?
Thanks for playing the lottery.
There also doesn't seem to be any mandatory enforcement of playing the lottery, so you'd think a fair amount of people would just try to live outside that system. Especially when a lot of things are either free or dirt cheap. Wade gets an info packet, which I have to imagine mentions how this all works, yet somehow everyone keeps missing that twist. I mean, this leaflet even says what to expect on the big day, and it looks to mention a funeral. Her and Quinn are just like, oh, a funeral must be for someone unrelated.
What if I wanted to give my money to the poor?
Unfortunately, the last poor person won the lottery herself about 6 months ago.
The last poor person on Earth. Of course, from Wade's perspective, there's absolutely no downsides to this, so why wouldn't she think that the poor would just go get unlimited funds from the lottery ATMs? Wade is so rich now, she can afford cheap-looking jewelry and insert shots of San Francisco. She then gets a rather normal-looking car, which is extra pointless since the city provides free cars.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
Wow, way to live it up. Shouldn't someone ask Wade if this is really how she wants to spend her last hours?
I hope you don't mind, but Miss Murphy, one of the other winners, was very excited to hear that you had arranged to show the Paris Fall collection.
She was excited about this? Afterwards, let's go watch paint dry. Anyway, Rembrandt horny. Need girlfriend for this episode again. Quinn is being a bit of a stink about the whole thing, but again, he does raise a good point that there must be some kind of catch because winning a lottery solely due to withdrawing money doesn't really add up.
Where are you going?
I'll see you idiots later.
But of course, Wade is, this is Utopia! And for the 4th episode in a row, we have someone considering staying behind. And in the Fox order, it's actually 5 times in a row. So yeah, they made it worse, as always.
This is for you, so that we can identify the winners.
Thank you.
For a system that controls the whole world's population, that sure seems kinda cheap.
The men all get boutonnieres.
You could never take those off, unless you do.
I thought you weren't going to make it.
I don't know why she says this because the winner's ball does not seem like it's an optional thing, as it's where they round all of them up for some good old-fashioned slaughtering.
Security seems awfully tight for a gala like that.
What Arturo says makes a lot of sense considering the twist, but we don't actually see all that tight of security. In fact, it seems like the winners are given an awful lot of freedom, which I can't imagine would work out very well, as there'd have to be a lot of people who would try to escape at this point.
In case the right to life first cause a disturbance.
Right, and there's also the Right to Life group that's against the whole lottery system and again is providing easy to access info about how the whole thing works. So, if Quinn had his doubts, he could have gotten this info much sooner.
Read it. It'll change your life.
Wait a second, if they kill Wade, Wade will be dead!
What is this?
A beneficiary form, next of kin, nothing out of the ordinary.
I'm Ryan. This is for you.
Ryan is another winner, which means he's got a get anything in the world for free card, and the best he could do was a stupid rose?
Flowers? I don't want any damn flowers.
Ryan here is played by another X-Files reoccurring actor, Nicholas Lee, who of course played the office prankster Alex Krycek, who liked to do funny things to annoy Skinner, like calling dead to work.
You're Wade Wails, aren't you?
How do you know my name?
You just won the lottery, Wade, which was televised. I imagine some people saw.
You know, if you hurry up and sign that, I can ask you to dance.
Well, who wouldn't sign their life away for a chance to dance with Krycek? Though, you would think Wade would have had to do any paperwork well before being given any of the prizes.
I'm a white card holder. I can have anything I want. And I want you.
Hey, shouldn't we go to your room or something?
The winners have to be here for the midnight toast.
I thought you weren't going to make it.
The winners have to be here.
I thought you weren't going to make it.
The winners have to be here.
I'm a hypocrite.
I'm afraid of death.
Well, if I were the mayor, I'd order you to death. Queen's here. I don't care, 'cause I got my Krycek.
I've got to get inside.
Sir.
Pretty tight security indeed.
This lottery, it's population control. Tomorrow morning, they're gonna kill Wade.
Oh, that's what they meant by the live it up until you drop dead slogan.
The lottery has killed 50,000 people.
They don't call it death.
They call it unaliving.
Gotta find a way of getting her out of it.
I'll tell you how we get her out of here. The same way we came in through the front door.
It's so stupid, it'd have to work.
Every move I make is chaperoned until this party is over.
Except for right now hanging out with you guys, so this would be the time to bolt, but nah.
Could we maybe bring somebody with us?
I'm not saying it's impossible, Rembrandt, but the more people we take in the wormhole, the more energy it drains from the system.
This is a rather confusing bit about how they act like sliding works. That it's still draining the power somehow from the main system back on Earth Prime? So if there was a random blackout back home during slide time, I guess they'd be screwed. Also, if that were the case, you'd think that link would be a thread to help lead back home, but they never explain this very well. You'd also think that the power consumption is based on the opening of the portal rather than the mass which goes through it.
It's barbaric.
Here they kill volunteers, painlessly. But as a man of science, you cannot dismiss the result.
A world where many didn't get to live who would have before. Now, Mr. Mallory, I gotta go run for mayor. Oh, not again, Professor.
I see a future with you.
You mean it? You want to die with me?
I've explained everything to Julianne, and she's cool.
Brown, lottery police. You're under arrest.
Wait, no, she's not cool. Not cool.
Can I trust you?
To my grave.
Which might be fake. You never know with me.
What I'm about to say is going to sound pretty shocking.
You're adopted and I don't like you.
I'm from a parallel world.
Rychek seems to take this news worse than Julianne initially did, which of course means he'll be the one to actually accept it.
You'll get the process, the penalty for subverting the lottery system. They'll make you pay in pain before they kill you.
But think of the end result! I love this way of life! Or non-life, rather. And again, we have 2 lottery winners seemingly unattended to and allowed to just hang out outside the hotel.
I thought you loved me.
I do, but obviously you were delusional. We're about to be bonded eternally. We'll always be together.
So it's apparently not supposed to be until the next morning that all the winners make way, as they call it, but I guess Julianne's just too excited and wants to die now. Goodbye forever, Rembrandt. That's not cool when it happens to me. So Julianne thinks that making Rembrandt watch her make way will change his mind on everything, apparently. But then, of course, when she's gone, they take Remy away to get the evil, painful process making way.
We need to walk the dog.
We don't need to walk the dog. The dog is perfectly fine.
We need to walk the dog now.
Wow, look at that tight security again.
If we're not back in time, slide without us.
I don't know, Quinn. I'm still thinking about staying on this world.
Perhaps a relative from past years back will appear and guide you into the light.
My dead relatives were a pain in the butt.
Our prisoner there! His only crime is wanting to live!
So all it takes is Quinn getting on the megaphone for a second to whip the right-to-lifers into a frenzy so that they can easily break Rembrandt out. We are seriously supposed to believe this lottery system basically has unlimited funds behind it, are we? This has controlled this planet's entire population for so many years because, I don't know, no one ever tried fighting against it. The team then makes an amazing escape. Well, crashing the escape car doesn't end up mattering in the slightest, so I have to assume they dropped something during a rewrite, cause why did that happen? Back at the hotel, the lottery people are now searching for Wade. The giant system that controls the Earth's population has sent the host guy and 1 guard. I also don't know why they're even searching for her currently, as she is apparently not scheduled to get out of the way until the morning. Maybe the cut bit with the crash had something to do with Quinn and Arturo being spotted during Rembrandt's escape, and since they were linked to Wade, that's why they're looking for her now?
There she is.
That's the slate curtain move of a lottery hider if I've ever seen one!
Ryan?
I'm a hypocrite.
The Extreme Population Control Group is no match for Ryan with a fire extinguisher. How has anyone ever died to this system if they didn't want to? I mean, really.
You better be telling the truth about parallel worlds.
Looks like Ryan's actually gonna be an ongoing concern, if not for a stinking network. So, yeah, the sliders don't just have 1 guest for this slide, but 2, as Henry the dog amusingly leaps into the portal as well. I love, too, that no one brings or tosses Henry in. No, the dog just jumps in for some reason. Floppy dogs. Severin makes it through the portal, but a security guard fires a shot as Quinn escapes, leading to the season finale cliffhanger.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Okay, I like Sabrina Lloyd sliders and all, but that was an absolutely abysmal big no. Why did they let her do it like a ghost horse? No! should we do another take? Nah, Fox says we can't afford it. So we've got a few things here set up to kick off the second season, all of which are going to be quickly discarded again thanks to Fox. They really just could not stop messing with this show. Sliders just wishes it could have found the gateway to the world where it was on a network that wasn't determined to ruin it. The whole utopian world with the dark population control twists makes for an interesting world, but we really need an actual reason why the team didn't immediately find that out. It wasn't a secret, and the lottery system seems to have been massively successful despite itself, as it's quite the shit show. Oh no, we never counted on slight resistance! The biggest slide hole of the episode is Julianne for literally being too stupid to live. Also, she had to know she would have been the only thing keeping Rembrandt from suffering, yet no thoughts at all in her little head about that as she drank her death juice. Next time on Sliders, we're starting season 2 and Fox makes the show jettison its extra character and story before the intro, so that we can move on to a weird Wizard of Oz-ish mystic world.
Take me, Rembrandt. Right here, right now.